videos about the Marvel Universe, starting with the top 10 superheroes. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1. Video link to American comics. Counting the top 10 heroes at the beginning. Author, escape from the GD, traveling to a parallel world. Lin Lan, who was forced to make a living, was invited by the Dimension platform to create. Say anything, just edit the video, and you can get rewards with the mentality of trying. Lin Lan edited Marvel and uploaded the video top 10 superheroes. Unexpectedly, it caused an uproar in the Marvel Universe. Iron Man, it was me who snapped my fingers in the end. Captain America, with a mortal body standing shoulder to shoulder with the gods. I lifted Mjolnir. Thor, you said you never practiced secretly. Wait, that fat guy is definitely not me. Spider-Man, what? Accept me. Enter Spider-Man. In addition, videos such as top 10 supervillains have appeared. Since then, the entire Marvel universe has undergone earth-shaking changes. Lin Lan on the other side was also stunned. The Infinity Stones gifted to me by this guy named Loki turned out to be real. Point 1. Iron Man, will definitely be on the list. Finally, the editing is completed. Let's start with a video of the 3 generations of Spider-Man in the same frame. I think it will work. Inside a dimly lit rental house. The keyboard crackled. At this time, a young man with a face as handsome as a certain reader who was sitting in front of the computer editing videos. His name is Lin Lan, and he is a time traveler. He traveled to a world that was almost exactly the same as Blue Star in his previous life. But like the novels I read in my previous life, I didn't give away golden fingers when I traveled through time, and there is nothing at the beginning. Even the identity is a black account. But fortunately, he relied on his editing ability in his previous life. I can barely make ends meet. But he was not satisfied with this, and just then a website called Dimensional Platform invited him to edit videos. As long as the quality passed the standard and the response was good enough, he would be able to receive generous rewards. So I had the mentality of trying. Lin Lan plans to take stock of the top 10 superheroes in American comics, and the first one to choose to edit was Spider-Man. When the writing, music and vocals are all done. I wrote the title, by the way. Counting the top 10 superheroes. Hero is never a title, but a responsibility, and responsibility. Perhaps he is a god who possesses power beyond all things, or maybe he is a person who is comparable to the gods in a mortal body. Note, this video only shows the top 10 superheroes, regardless of character, personality and other factors. The ranking is in no particular order. Done. Upload. After finally finishing, Lin Lan uploaded it to the website and waited for the response. Parallel universe. New York. It has been a week since Ivan Vanko, Whipstring, caused the terrorist incident. I don't want you to read that report. I'm not sure it has anything to do with you. As for this report, it is Agent Romanoff's assessment of you. You can read it yourself. In ruins at this time, Tony Stark was sitting in his seat, and there was a paper report in front of him. The Avengers preliminary assessment report. Just when he wanted to read. But he was stopped by a black hand. And took out another report from the side and gave it to him. Open. Tony Stark sees a lot of bad reviews and was informed by Nick Fury in front of him. Can only act as a consultant. To this, Tony Stark was very dissatisfied. I now have a brand new heart, and I prevented a disaster not long ago. Overall, I can be considered a hero now. At this moment, what makes us believe is that you can only serve as a consultant. If you don't believe me, just look at this platform and see whether the comments on you are more supportive or more abusive. Nick Fury took out his phone. Clicked on the Dimensional Platform. And Tony Stark also notes that this platform appeared out of thin air recently, and everyone can upload videos to it, quickly causing a trend in the world and even the universe. Just as a genius scientist and playboy. Not interested in short videos at all. Shock. Playboy Tony Stark actually had an affair with a certain star. Asgard is about to hold a coronation ceremony. Congratulations to the new king. Green and red giants appear in New York. Extremely destructive. Countless casualties. Nick Fury scrolled through the videos one by one. There are many videos of extraterrestrial civilizations. Because of the emergence of this platform. Even S.H.I.E.L.D's previous efforts to conceal alien civilization have become meaningless and the timeline in the entire universe seems to have changed. After sliding for almost half a minute. Tony Stark has seen 4 or 5 videos accusing him. I couldn't help but feel a little helpless. These people are jealous of my genius brain. How can they take it seriously? Wait, look. What is this video? Just when Tony Stark was still trying to find excuses to quibble. Suddenly my eyes lit up. One of the titles captivated him. Counting the top 10 superheroes. Look, here's a list of the top 10 superheroes. And it's also noted that regardless of personality, there is no ranking order. Isn't this tailor-made for me? Tony Stark was overjoyed. Problems with his character were pointed out many times in the report before us. Regardless of character and character, he is Tony Stark. In addition to being a playboy billionaire and other titles, there is still one. That's Iron Man. I saw the corners of his mouth raise slightly, and he said confidently to Nick Fury, "Believe it or not, I will definitely be on the list." Nick Fury said nothing. But there was also curiosity in his eyes. After all, the videos on this platform are almost all about sharing daily life. Now a novel topic has emerged. Rayo is the director of SHIELD. I couldn't help but hold back my anticipation. Then he looked at Tony and joked, "If you are not on the list, just be a consultant." Finished. Nick Fury clicked on this video. At the same time. This scene is happening in many places throughout the Marvel universe. 2. Expectations from all parties. Who is it? 9 Realms Asgard. At this time, it was above Nuoda's palace. Cheers and loud chatter filled the space. I saw many Asgardian people taking out instruments similar to electronic products to film this shocking scene and record this moment that will be recorded in the history of Asgard. That's it. Son of Odin, Thor, about to be crowned king, and on the throne. Odin held the eternal spear and looked into the distance with a look of relief. He saw Thor slowly approaching with Thor's hammer in hand, responding to the cheers of the people of Asgard. Every move showed his confidence and domineering power. Seeing this scene, Odin was proud of him too. So he looked at his wife beside him and said calmly, "Record this moment. It's time to let the 9 realms know who their new king is." Frigga smiled softly. She knew that this was Odin establishing majesty for Thor in the 9 realms, so head to the other side. Looking for Loki's location. Chapter 2. However, at this time, Loki was lowering his eyes and looking down at the video of the coronation ceremony that was being forwarded crazily on the dimensional platform. He clenched his fists tightly, his eyes filled with unwillingness and anger, just when he was about to launch an operation to destroy the coronation ceremony. Suddenly his eyes lit up. A video title attracted him deeply. Counting the top 10 superheroes. You must know that since the emergence of the dimensional platform. It's fun to watch any video. But as time goes by, either daily life or battles are shared, and videos of the same type emerge one after another, which quickly makes people tired. But now there is such a new type. How could you not attract him? HMPH. If you are not in this ranking, how can you establish your authority? Loki snorted. I really want to know if Thor is in the rankings. If not. Maybe there's no need to collude with the frost giants. Thor's coronation ceremony is about to end. If so, just continue with the plan. Just when he was thinking about how to prevent others from seeing this video. It happened that his mother Frigga came to him to shoot a video. So she suggested, "Mother, why don't you play this before the coronation ceremony begins?" Frigga saw this new type of video. It's also a bright spot. And got Odin's permission. Before the coronation ceremony. Play the video. Kamatage. The place of apprenticeship. At this time, Master Guyi and Master Modu were standing on the high platform watching the apprentices below practicing magic. "Did you see anything unusual in the recent videos, Master?" Guyi spoke calmly, his face always calm, giving people a feeling of being detached from all things. The recent emergence of dimensional platforms has changed the direction of the timeline, but it can be said that it has greatly improved their efficiency in fighting alien invasions from the dark dimension. After all, some people may capture potential dangers by casually taking a video. This made Guyi appreciate it very much. This platform is not exclusive, no, but a new theme video has appeared on the Dimension platform recently. I think you must take a look. Modus. Tone was full of respect and admiration for the ancient master, although he didn't watch the video either, but just the title, Top 10 Superheroes, has already attracted me deeply. In his cognition point as the supreme mage, Master Gu Yi would definitely be in the top 3, not to mention number 1, so looking forward to this video very much. And Gu Yi heard the words pupils suddenly dilated point, although his face is still so calm and composed point, but she was also very curious as to who it was, so I nodded and started playing. New York point, the Queen point in an old apartment. Parker, did you see the video I recorded today? I actually captured Spider-Man. And it got more than 900 likes. Ned, forget it. This platform may not be suitable for you. At this moment point, little fat Ned is lying on Peter Parker's bed happily watching the video he took today point, and video point Spider-Man blocks a car and saves an old woman point. Ned happened to be there point. I took this video by the way point, and because Peter Parker followed his good gay friend, he naturally saw the video he shot point, but it has to be said point the filming was pretty bad, not to mention the screen shaking. 80% of the video is his round head howling there point. The fact that 900 people like him is probably all because of the title. Moreover, the fact that he is Spider-Man has not been revealed to Ned, so he cannot criticize him directly point. And just then point Ned on the side exclaimed again, Parker, look. Someone actually posted a video counting the top 10 superheroes. Peter Parker heard this sit up immediately point as a young and energetic Spider-Man point who doesn't care about their reputation. What's more, he wants the title of hero even more. Then he got close to the little fat man point staring at that video attentively point. Then he said, guess who it will be? Peter Parker pressed the video hard to start playing. Point 3. With great power comes great responsibility. 10th. Spider-Man. Ding 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 ding. The soft sound of piano sounded point. Then the scene appeared in the video. The colorful universe was extremely quiet, and a huge spaceship was seen floating in the vacuum, seemingly aimlessly, passing by one dazzling nebula after another, along with the soft and sad background music. People watching the video fell into this calmness. However, at this moment, the spacecraft suddenly lost control and collided with a planet that was full of deserts and ruins. It caused a strong shockwave and kicked up a cloud of sand and dust, which rolled and roared like a tsunami, sweeping in all directions. And go. Although there was no sound from the explosion, everyone was shocked by the scene. Their pupils expanded rapidly, and they swallowed hard, as if they were at the scene. Snapped. At this time point, a snap of the fingers, the screen goes black. Then Lin Lan's deep and magnetic voice sounded at the same time. Hero is never a title, but a responsibility, and responsibility. Maybe he is a god, maybe he is immortal, but when disaster strikes, he will stand in front without hesitation, because behind them are thousands of lights. That's right, this is what heroes have in common. Countless people heard Lin Lan's words. The blood boils all over the body point. They all expressed their approval point, especially when the last sentence was said. They had goosebumps all over their bodies, and then they saw a few lines of words appear on the screen. Hero is never a title, but a responsibility, and responsibility. Perhaps he is a god who possesses power beyond all things, or maybe he is a person who is comparable to the gods in a mortal body. Note, this video is for display only. Regardless of character, personality and other factors, the ranking is in no particular order. Producer, Lin Lan. At this time point, when the creator's name appears above the video point, it caused quite a stir throughout the universe point. After all, they know almost all the high level up owners on the entire Dimension platform point, but it was the first time I met this creative and talented person point, so I can't wait to see who the next heroes are. Video continues after a few lines of text transitioned. The final title appeared, counting the top 10 superheroes. Chapter 3. Ding. When the title appeared, a crisp clang sounded, like a giant hammer hitting people's hearts, making them tremble and look forward to it even more. Then I heard Lin Lan's voice again. Next, let's start counting the 10th place. He is brave, just, and the embodiment of kindness. He possesses absolute power, but he does not abuse it. Every punch he throws is aimed at the enemy accurately, and no matter how difficult it is, he will never give up. He is people's friendly neighbor and a beacon in the darkness, guiding the confused on the way forward. He has a strong sense of responsibility, and he thinks that if he doesn't do anything, then when an accident happens, he will feel that it is his responsibility. When sound and subtitles appear at the same time. Everyone who is watching understands this is the video author's evaluation of this hero. Not only does he have absolute power, he also has a strong sense of responsibility. If he just sits back and does nothing, when the accident happens, he will feel that the responsibility belongs to him. What a noble virtue this is. People in the universe are in awe of this. Hiss. Who is this person? No wonder he can be called a hero. I don't know, but the last sentence really hit me. If you have the power and don't do anything, then when the accident happens, he will feel that the responsibility belongs to him. This is too responsible. Wait a minute. There are more comments later. People watching the video are full of anticipation. Just those words just now got them to agree with this hero. They continued to look down with doubts and expectations, and Lin Lan's voice continued with, "Great power comes great responsibility." These words are not just words, they are reflected in his every word and deed. Despite all obstacles, he will not let danger bud. As long as his hands can touch the lives, he will never give up. This passage made the hearts of countless people beat non-stop, and wondering at the same time, who is it that can get such a lofty evaluation from the author? 9 realms Asgard. At this moment, the entire hall was completely silent. Everyone held their breath and concentrated. When they saw this description, the first thing they thought of was Odin's son, Thor, who was about to be crowned king. Isn't this Thor just and brave? Every punch is thrown out, and the giant can't bear it. That's right. And isn't Thor our friendly neighbor? And every time he goes out to perform a mission, he completes it successfully. Doesn't this mean that with great power comes great responsibility? That's right. On the throne. Odin saw this comment. He also nodded with satisfaction. In his heart. Except Thor is a little reckless. Everything else is suitable. Not only Odin and other people, Thor himself also read it with gusto and agreed with these words very much, except for the sentence containing an action and the evaluation. He felt that he was very consistent with everything else, and after hearing the praise from his friends around him, he felt that this hero would definitely be him. I saw countless pairs of eyes staring at the video. I didn't even dare to breathe. The video continues to advance and reaches the exciting reveal part. The background music became passionate, and even Lin Lan's voice increased a few degrees, and then he said word by word, he is the 10th among the top 10 superheroes. Spider-Man. Reason for being on the list: the greater the ability, the greater the responsibility. He has a very responsible spirit and noble moral character. He is brave and just, the embodiment of kindness, and an unknown and low-key hero. 4. What should I do if I can't hide it anymore? Waiting online. Urgent. Spider-Man? Why is it him? Why not Thor? Spider-Man, is he really as powerful as the reviews say? Perhaps Thor's is still behind. After all, he is only the 10th now. You must know that Thor's great achievements are far more than these. Odin will definitely agree with what I say, but I still can't accept that guy who is just like a bug. Asgard. Above the main hall. Countless people saw the name of this hero. They all sighed. I didn't expect it to fit Thor's evaluation so well. It's not Thor. Instead, he is a Spider-Man who walks through the city streets every day and every night. Through the dimensional platform. They also came across Spider-Man videos. It's nothing more than helping to fight against thieves, or helping an old lady cross the road. Compare it to Thor, who wiped out a whole clan at every turn. Nothing at all. After all, the people of Asgard don't think Spider-Man's power is worthy of the title of hero. It's not me, not Just the crowd. Thor, the god of thunder, was also stunned. I didn't expect that such a lofty evaluation was not about myself. I couldn't help but feel very lost. Obviously I'm so much stronger than that little spider. Why didn't I even make the list? Even though he was on the list. But I heard the conversation of people on the side. He realized immediately. It's only 10th place now. With so many years of experience on the battlefield and eliminating harm in the 9 realms, coupled with the unrivaled power of the god of thunder, maybe there will be more to come. The thought of this, Thor breathed a sigh of relief. But as a representative of bad temper, if you can skip it, he'll definitely skip it. But the current author has only released the first video. I guess the rest will have to wait. So I kept reading with patience. I want to know why this little spider is on the list. Earth. In the ruined building. At this time, Tony Stark coughed awkwardly. I never expected that the first person on the list would not be me. You must know that a few days ago, he and his friends prevented an accident caused by a whipcord. Logically speaking, he is also a hero. Just didn't expect it. The first one on the list is the chatty Spider-Man. That's right. Because of the dimensional platform. He also knows that Iron Man, is not the only hero in the city who can save the city. Sometimes, for the development of Stark Industries, he was forced by Peebo to watch the dimensional platform. When I first came across Spider-Man, I thought this guy was pretty good, and I would definitely recruit him as my subordinate if I had the chance. The result, the second, the third. Brushing too much will make him impatient. This Spider-Man talks too much. Just like an underage brat. How do you compare with yourself? A calm and steady genius scientist? So Tony couldn't believe it. This Spider-Man can make the list. So he said to Nick Fury, believe it or not, I definitely rank higher than this kid. Don't forget, there is no ranking in this ranking. You are not on the list anyway, Nick. Fury hits the nail on the head. Chapter 4. He had already heard about Spider-Man. It's just that I never paid attention to him. Now I hear the video speaks highly of him. There was some appreciation in his one eye. I have even begun to think about whether to drag this little spider into the Avengers. Let's continue reading. Tony was in agony inside. I especially want to know if I'm on the list. If you were here, you could slap Nick Fury in the face. For him who is proud and arrogant, this is undoubtedly the best way. At the same time. New York. The Queen. At this time, Peter Parker's pupils dilated rapidly. My heart was pounding. His face was full of shock and disbelief. After taking a deep breath, he almost fainted. He never expected that he would be on the list. On the other hand, Ned next to Peter Parker was even more excited. Parker, look. It's Spider-Man. Spider-Man, you are so excited. Slap yourself on the thigh. Ned patted Parker's thigh frantically. The round face was full of happiness. This made Peter Parker even more proud. If his best friend knew he was Spider-Man. Then you shouldn't kneel down and worship. Of course. Peter Parker just thought about it. My eyes were fixed on these lines of text. As the protagonist of this video. He felt that this author named Lin Lan understood him very well. All the comments are very consistent with him. Even the most touching sentence. It's what motivates him to get up every day and help others. That's right. Ever since I gained superpowers, every time I see a crime, I want to help. If you don't help yourself. My heart was filled with panic. Some people even died from it. He would feel so guilty that he couldn't eat or sleep. I can't help but admire this author in my heart for being able to tell what's in his heart. Hello, Peter Parker. At this time. Video continues. When a low voice sounded. Peter Parker froze in place, feeling a chill in his back and numbness in his scalp. Oops, it seems like I can't hide it anymore. What should I do? Waiting online. Urgent. PS. Dear readers, listen to my master. The first day is really important. Moreover, this is the first time Zio Mengson has written a book. I don't know if readers' fathers like this subject, but Zio Mengson is really a nostalgic person and wants to show all the difficult stories of Marvel. So if you readers think this theme is good, please give the free flowers and evaluation votes to Zio Mengson. And my master also told me that we should set a rule for adding updates on the first day, but he didn't say the specific data, so let's tentatively decide as follows! 2000 flowers plus 1 update! 200 evaluation votes plus 1 more update. 2-month ticket adds 1 more update. As for awards, Xiomengson really doesn't dare to ask for them. It all depends on the mood of the readers' fathers. Xiomengson is here to kowtow to the father of all readers. Please support Xiomengson. I will definitely work hard to update. Bang bang bang. Point 5. Spider-Man pulls a train with his bare hands. Hello, Peter Parker. In video. When sound and subtitles appear simultaneously on point, the scene changes, arriving at a classic New York neighborhood. Countless high-rise buildings stand erect, and the orange-yellow afterglow falls on them, presenting a prosperous and majestic scene. And just then a man with countless robotic arms like octopus tentacles on his back appeared in the video wearing black sunglasses, and was pressing closer. In front of him was Spider-Man wearing a red and blue uniform. However, people who are familiar with Spider-Man in the Marvel Universe were very puzzled when they saw this scene. The Spider-Man in front of them seemed a little different from what they had seen, and they have never seen this enemy before. Maybe there are several Spider-Mans in the universe. That should be the case. After all, the universe is vast. Marvel Universe. Peter Parker breathed a sigh of relief, and at the same time asked in confusion, Ned, have you seen this octopus-like person? Also, this Spider-Man, why do I feel that it is a little different from what I saw? It seems that the uniform is also slightly different. Joke. Why can't I recognize the uniform I designed? Peter Parker could tell right away. The uniform in the video was not designed by me. And from beginning to end, he had never fought with this octopus-like person. It's not just him. Ned also stated the same point. That's the Spider-Man in the video, and it doesn't seem to be the Spider-Man they've seen. Video continues. Dr. Octopus controlled the huge mechanical arm and headed towards Spider-Man, making a whistling sound in the air, and then hit him hard and fell down from the tall building like a cannonball. Fortunately, Spider-Man is agile and his hands immediately spray out spider silk, which firmly adheres to Dr. Octopus's body and then pulls him together. Boom. That's all. The two fell together on the train that happened to be passing by. After making a huge dent, they rolled crazily on top of the train. After rolling for almost 5 or 6 times, they stopped steadily. The two sides started fighting again, fighting above the train, or inside, or on the street beside it. No matter where Dr. Octopus blasted Spider-Man to, even if he landed hard, the latter would not hesitate to get up again and rush forward to stop him. The tragic music sounded, and all the viewers in the Marvel Universe were in awe. I didn't expect humans to have this kind of perseverance, which is worthy of respect. There are wounds everywhere on his body, but he doesn't seem to know what giving up means. The video continues. I saw Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man fighting back and forth for a few more times. Directly remove the train's braking device, causing the train speed to soar crazily. Rumble. The sound of a train derailing was heard. The background music suddenly became loud and fast. Everyone who was watching the video felt tense in their hearts. They saw that the picture flashed past the end of the train road, and there was the sea. It's over. Although Spider-Man is stronger than ordinary people, he is only a mortal after all. How could he save so many people? There must be at least 1,000 people on this train. It is estimated that, after rushing to the sea, only a few will survive. Countless people believe that Spider-Man cannot save the entire train. But Peter Parker as Spider-Man. How could you give up in despair at this moment? I saw Spider-Man coming to the locomotive, taking off his mask, and using his super eyesight to visually check how far away he was from the end. Then ask everyone in the train to hold on tight. After taking a deep breath, jumped onto the train tracks and tried to use his feet to force the train to stop. Thump 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 thump. Countless wooden boards broke and shot up into the sky. Spider-Man gritted his teeth and felt the severe pain from his feet, but he was still bounced back by the impact. The background music was filled with sadness again, and Lin Lan's voice sounded again. No matter how powerful he is still just a mortal. But as a hero, can he do it? Chapter 5. He can do it. He can definitely do it. Peter Parker, Dutch brother, said point his face was solemn, but his eyes showed great faith. Same as Spider-Man point he believes that the person in the video can definitely do it. Video continues Spider-Man didn't give up point instead. He frantically sprayed spider silk on the buildings on the left and right sides, and then held it tightly in his hands. Fracture, squirt again, broken again, squirt again. After several attempts, Spider-Man clenched more spider silk tightly in his hands, like a slingshot, forcing the train to stop, and all his uniforms were torn apart due to the huge tension, and the locomotive behind him was even more dented inward. Visible how terrifying is the power Spider-Man endures. Boom, boom, boom. Just when the hearts of countless people in the audience were jumping into their throats, the train finally stopped at the end point. Spider-Man also fell into a coma point, but countless hands stretched out from the train and caught the hero steadily. After everyone passed him around, he lay firmly in the train carriage, where everyone admired him. Spider-Man perfectly illustrates what it means that with great power comes great responsibility. Although his power is limited, his spirit is infinite. But is there only one Spider-Man in the entire universe? Of course not. Lin Lan's voice changed from calm to passionate. Point all the people watching the video also have a strong sense of anticipation. It was exactly what they thought. Point there's not just one Spider-Man. So with strong curiosity, I continued reading. Thanks to readers dad 18,779 and 15,623 for their monthly votes. Dear readers and fathers, please give me a ticket. I kowtow to you. Bang bang bang. 6 point heroes are destined to be lonely. It's hard to calm down. With great power comes great responsibility. This saying is so true. I didn't expect that a little mortal could be so perseverant. His spirit is commendable. I thought these people were dead, but I didn't expect that he would use all his strength to stop the train. Even us. I'm afraid we can't do it, right? Isn't it? I was moved to tears, especially when he fainted. Those people stretched out their hands to catch him, proving that everything he did was worth it. At this moment point countless people have been infected by Spider-Man's spirit point, just when they wanted to continue watching point. But I didn't expect that there is more than one Spider-Man in this universe. Spider-Gwen Beiju. 3. Study. 6. Feed. 4. Duri. And sure enough, I knew it. In an apartment building point Peter Parker excitedly exclaimed point when Spider-Man takes off his mask, not his visage point. He vaguely guessed that he might not be the only Spider-Man in the universe. Ned on the side also opened his eyes wide, showing an expression of ecstasy. There is actually more than one Spider-Man. Oh my god, this is so happy for me. A huge fan of Spider-Man. Ned danced point when you see Spider-Man take off his mask point. He couldn't wait to know point what does the Spider-Man of their world look like point. But when he sees the truth, he will definitely be shocked. Peter Parker, on the other hand, is praying that this video will not expose him. Then, the video continues, but the background music is even sadder every time the piano makes a sound. It is like a silver needle poking people's tear ducts, causing them to shed tears uncontrollably. This generation of Spider-Man is lonely and entangled. He was not born with spider silk, so he could only make it step by step with his hands. Despite this, he still roams the city and fights criminals. The mask and the knight symbolize concealment. Just like his fate, it is doomed to be full of hardships and dangers. Lin Lan's deep voice added to the background music point. It made countless people's hearts sink point. Spider-Man has not yet appeared in the picture point, but they can already feel the loneliness of Spider-Man. Video continues. The Spider-Man of this world was bullied in high school because of his introversion, but he fell in love with the famous Gwen point in an accident. He became Spider-Man. In order to protect the city, he must conceal his identity, but that's it point. That made him very confused point. Even the audience can feel the same. This Spider-Man has endured too much. It's really lonely. If I were a superhero, I would definitely show off to countless people, but he didn't do that, didn't he? This further demonstrates his precious and noble spirit. Video continues to stop the lizardman. Spider-Man has no choice but to reveal his identity in front of his girlfriend and her father. However, just as he stood up from the ground, he was about to go further away. Snapped. A gunshot resounded throughout the space. Spider-Man was shot in the leg. Even though he was shot in the leg, he still didn't give up running. Because behind him, there were thousands of lights. Lin Lan's voice became passionate. Countless people were also in awe in their hearts. They could see Spider-Man running lamely over the city, which was very distressing. But at this moment all the cranes were angled at 90 degrees in order to allow Spider-Man to reach the city center smoothly. They encouraged their employees to take action. So far Spider-Man moved quickly over the city and came to the location of the lizard man to fight with him, but unexpectedly, his girlfriend's father died at the hands of a lizard man, and she promised him to stay away from his daughter. See this scene. Countless people are also extremely sad in their hearts. Spider-Man is a hero though. But the responsibilities he bears cannot be shared by ordinary people at all. By his side, you will be implicated in front of a hero. There are always things more important than personal emotions. It's just that for Spider-Man, this will be an everlasting regret. Lin Lan's voice was full of sadness. The music also stopped abruptly. But the scene continues. Countless people who were watching the video held their breath. In the video, Spider-Man's girlfriend Gwen fell rapidly from a high altitude. Just when everyone thought she was going to die, a spider silk firmly stuck to her. I was scared to death. I thought she was dead. Oh my god. The author of this video is so awesome. The music and clicks are just right. Fortunately, I saved my girlfriend. Phew. I was scared to death. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Just when they want to continue watching. But suddenly I heard a cry. Video continues. Even though Spider-Man's webbing pulled down Gwen. But blood continued to ooze from the back of Gwen's head. Then I saw Spider-Man take off his mask, revealing his helpless and extremely sad facial expression. Hero is never a glamorous title. Behind this title, there are many unknown bitter sufferings hidden. He is lonely and troubled. Hidden beneath a mask, he is a hero in people's minds. But outside the mask, he is just an ordinary person who wants to stay with his girlfriend for a long time. But in the end, he didn't get the future he wanted. Chapter 6. The background music becomes sadder. Lin Lan's voice was sometimes deep and sometimes high, touching the hearts of the audience. The scene changes. I saw only the cemetery. A figure stood in front of the tombstone. The seasons pass. He is consistent. It makes the hearts of the viewers unable to calm down for a long time. If the previous Spider-Man interpreted what with great power comes great responsibility, then this Spider-Man interpreted what loneliness and entanglement mean. The screen disappears, but Lin Lan's voice never stopped. Next, it's the third generation of Spider-Man. Thanks to reader Dad 15176 for his monthly ticket. Dads, readers, come and order some flower tickets. The data is really bleak. Wow CAC 7. Spider-Man. He deserves the title of hero. 9 realms Asgard. At this time, above the magnificent palace. Everyone was silent. Just now they may have been questioning why Spider-Man was on the list. Now it seems this mortal body has to bear so many things. Not only did his parents die, but his uncle and girlfriend also died one after another. Even if they are the gods of Asgard, they also admit that they may not be able to withstand this like Spider-Man and continue to fight. I will never underestimate Spider-Man anymore. He deserves respect from all of us. That's right. I didn't expect that a mortal spirit would be nobler than ours. It's just that I'm too small. It's not just them. Even Noddin's one eye showed some appreciation. This reminded him of the time when he was on the battlefield. No matter how many wounds there are on the body. He waved the weapons in his hands resolutely. He recognized Spider-Man's spirit very much. I didn't expect that. Not all heroes are glamorous. Looking at Thor on the side. There seemed to be hot tears flowing out of his eyes. After recalling his victory, as soon as he returns to Asgard, he will definitely be greeted by thousands of cheers. I didn't expect Spider-Man. While enduring suffering. You also have to conceal your identity, not wanting to harm the people around you. By contrast. Thor already feels that Spider-Man, he deserves the title of hero. Who is the author of this video? How could he edit such a wonderful video for us? Yes, this author is quite talented. The vocals and background music make people want to cry. And there are more than 2 Spider-Mans. There is one more. I can't wait to continue reading. Now, the Spider-Man of our universe should appear. The video continues. Everyone's expectations have been met again. They want to know what kind of experience does Spider-Man have in this universe? It's just that they think about it. I never thought that any experience could compare to the first 2 scenes of Spider-Man pulling a train with his bare hands, or fighting the lizard man. If Lin Lan were here, he would definitely snort. Of course they haven't seen it. Because what will be broadcast next will be the future scenes of Spider-Man in this universe. The other side. In the abandoned building. Iron Man and Nick Fury had heaviness written on their faces. It felt like a huge wave had set off in my heart, and I couldn't calm down for a long time. Whoa, this author named Lin Lan is really good at editing. Wait, why did I get sand in my eyes? I saw Tony wipe the corners of his eyes pretending to be indifferent. In fact, he was extremely sad inside. He didn't expect that unknown heroes actually have a bitter side that is unknown. In order not to hurt the people around me, I can only fight alone. Just this courage. Even the arrogant Tony couldn't help but want to give him a thumbs up. At the same time, I really want to know who the author is. He will definitely spend a lot of money to promote it. After all, videos of this quality can already be regarded as the most powerful on the Dimension platform. Let's see a third Spider-Man, if we can. Nick Fury is the director of SHIELD. Personal emotions have long been abandoned. Even Spider-Man is very touching. He still remained calm, and his eyes lit up. I want to use this video to find out whether the Spider-Man in this universe is worthy of the Avengers. More importantly, all Spider-Man's identities in the video were revealed. Then this Spider-Man will definitely do the same, so I had expectations. Keep reading. Video continues. What catches people's eyes is Wanli Glacier. Whoops. The north wind howls. It made people shiver uncontrollably. With the sound of background music playing, people feel as if they are on a glacier. Then the screen changed. A figure sculpted by ice appeared in everyone's sight. This is Captain America. How can it be? Nick Fury's pupils dilated dramatically. My heart was pounding. I didn't expect to see Captain America in Spider-Man's video. You know, they all thought Captain America died on that plane. Unexpectedly, he is still alive, and the location in the picture should be the glacier where Captain America crashed. Could it be said that this video shows scenes from the future? Nick Fury suppressed his curiosity. He couldn't believe and confirm his suspicion. I can only continue to look down. The scene continues on top of the big parking lot. Captain America in uniform stood there holding a shield. Sudden a thread of spider silk fell from the sky. He snatched the shield over, and then he wrapped Captain America's hands tightly. The scene changes. Spider-Man wearing a red and blue uniform came into view, and in his hand was Captain America's shield. Suddenly, the entire Marvel universe is in shock. Holy crap, Captain America is still alive, and Spider-Man had a fight with Captain America. It's so exciting. I thought Spider-Man in our universe was just a chatterbox. Wait a minute, is this video a video from the future? Countless questions emerged in the minds of countless people. However, the video continues. Chapter 7. PS. Begging for flower tickets. CAC 8. Countless people were shocked. The 10th place count is complete. Coulson, hurry up and take people to the place where Captain America crashed immediately. At this time in the ruined building. Nick Fury's anxious voice echoed. With Spider-Man and Captain America appearing in the video together, he was already 100% convinced. What this video plays is a picture of the future. After all, Spider-Man is a relatively recent hero. And it also means that Captain America is not dead. Nick Fury's face was full of shock and disbelief, and his heart felt like a huge wave had set off, and he couldn't calm down for a long time. He had no idea that the author of this video could actually present a picture of the future. What an outrageous method this is. Something seemed to come to mind. Nick Fury made another phone call. Go and investigate this video producer called Lin Lan for me. If you find it, just hold your ground and I will go there myself. Do you understand, Nick? Fury believes it. Whoever made this video definitely knows more about the future. In this regard, he did not dare to act rashly. You can only show a friendly attitude first. Tony Stark on the side couldn't help but frowned when he saw this scene. This guy has always been unreasonable. Why has your attitude towards this person changed completely? Although I feel uncomfortable. But Tony was also interested in it. Being able to see pictures of the future. It's something that many people can't even imagine. Although only Spider-Man and Captain America appeared in the video now, and the back was very blurry, but with his keen intuition, he felt that the flashing red shadow seemed to be him. Tony was filled with anticipation. And the video continues. Camotage. At this time, although Guyi was still calm on the surface. But there was a hint of surprise in her eyes. You must know that as the owner of the Eye of Agamotto. She can observe the timeline of the entire universe. Although the emergence of the dimensional platform broke the timeline, it also created a new timeline. So about what will happen next in this world. She is also clear about it. Just didn't expect it. The scene from the future actually appears in this video. How could this not shock her? Who is this person named Lin Lan? The ancient mage frowned. If it is a higher level enemy in the dark dimension. So what is his purpose in doing this? If not the enemy, then the appearance of this video will cause earth-shaking changes in the entire universe. Guyi was puzzled. Then unfold the Eye of Agamotto again. Buzz. Green light illuminated. Ancient Yi's pupils expanded rapidly. Really. Just like she thought. The future has changed, and it's chaos. It seems that the world is about to change. Just when Guyi sighed. The video continues. Oh my god. Spider-Man actually stole Captain America's shield. Oh my god. What a breaking news. Holy shit. At this moment. Peter Parker was stunned. He didn't expect that he would be fighting Captain America. As soon as he came up. My heart suddenly shrank, as if it had been hit by a giant hammer. Obviously very excited. The scene continues. Spider-Man fights Captain America. He sprayed out the spider silk, pulled the latter over, and aimed at his feet to attack, knocking down Captain America in one fell swoop. Just when Spider-Man's chatterbox relapsed. Captain America beat him up. Knocked it to the ground. On fighting techniques and techniques, Captain America is still better. I saw Captain America throwing his shield, hitting the huge pipe above Spider-Man, and crashing towards him. The scene changes. The pipes turned into stone pillars on top of Spider-Man. If you lose the suit and you are nothing, then you don't deserve it. The background music changed from high-pitched battle music to low, soothing and sad music. When Lin Lan's voice sounded. In the video, Spider-Man gritted his teeth, let out a dull roar, and then lifted up the stone pillar that was pressing on him, and everyone heard the crisp clicking sound. Oh my god. This transition scene is so well done, as smooth as dove. But why does Spider-Man in our universe look so young? Although he is young, his perseverance is equally strong. Holy shit, Parker, it's you. At this time. People watching praised this transition. Except for one person. That's the little fat guy next to Peter Parker. She exclaimed as she looked at him with shock and disbelief. Stop, don't be too shocked. Keep watching. Peter Parker hides his face helplessly. I didn't expect that my identity would be exposed by this video. But he was also surprised. In the future. What exactly will happen to me? Video continues. Spider-Man kept tracking the enemy, and when he discovered that the enemy turned out to be the father of the girl he liked, he froze in place. Although he didn't give up either. Keep stopping the vultures during the battle on the sea. The laser cut open the entire giant ship. When the ship was about to sink, Spider-Man did the same thing as the first Spider-Man, constantly spraying spider silk and pulling it with his bare hands. When the spider silk breaks one by one, the scene changes again. The elevator cable broke, falling rapidly. When it's about to hit the bottom. Spider-Man ignored the police's obstruction and made a perfect swing into the building. At the critical moment, he made the same move as the second Spider-Man and saved the people in the elevator. Why are you doing this, Lin? Lan's voice sounded. The picture is blurred. The face of Peter Parker is revealed. If you have this ability, but don't do anything, the bad things that happen next will be your responsibility. Peter Parker's voice sounded. Everyone who was watching the video realized that this little kid, who looked like he didn't even have any hair, had already had this realization. It turns out that that comment was made by this chatty Spider-Man. I really didn't expect it. Suddenly, I felt like this Spider-Man was pretty good. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8. Yes, I feel that compared to the previous two, I'm much happier, but even though he is very happy, he is also very responsible. But at this point everyone thinks that this generation of Spider-Man may be the happiest he has ever lived. But the scene continues. The background music seems to have returned to the soft piano sound from the beginning. Echoes the beginning. The colorful universe was extremely quiet, and only a huge spacecraft was seen floating in the vacuum, seemingly aimless, passing by one dazzling nebula after another. However, at this moment, the spacecraft suddenly lost control and collided with a planet that was full of deserts and ruins. It caused a strong shockwave and kicked up a cloud of sand and dust, which rolled and roared like a tsunami, sweeping in all directions. And go, snapped, a snap of the fingers, Spider-Man's face appeared on the screen, and his eyes were red, showing despair, unwillingness and a little apology. "I'm sorry, Mr. Stark," as Spider-Man says this in the eyes of countless people in shock and disbelief. The body seemed to be turned into countless fragments scattered in the sky. Oh my god, what the hell happened? No, I quite like this chatty little spider. Why is he different from the previous two Spider-Man? And why did he die? God, he just said my name, right? Why should he be sorry to me? Oh my god, Peter Parker, why did you die? Countless people are upset. Don't know what happened, just when they want to know. But found that Lin Lan's voice sounded again. Spider-Man spends his life fighting for justice. He keeps a low profile, conceals his identity, and knows that with great power comes great responsibility. This video honors our friendly neighbors. Superhero number 10. Spider-Man. Inventory completed. Thanks to readers Dad QQ 37,704 and 62,354 for their monthly votes, and all the readers and fathers who sent flower tickets. If you are a reader dad who still has free flower tickets in your hand, please beg for them. Data is the driving force for Xiaomeng's in support. 9. Dimension Platform Release Rewards. Superhero number 10. Spider-Man. Inventory completed. When Lin Lan's voice fell. Melodious background music sounded. The screen went black, and then Spider-Man's avatar slowly appeared, reflected in front of everyone. Give people a strong impact. Then Spider Silk appeared on the entire screen, and their bodies were condensed on it. It was as if they were condensing into 3 Spider-Man right in front of people. Top 10 superheroes. Spider-Man. He deserves this title. Anonymous, willing to be a friendly neighbor, but the responsibility he shoulders is extremely admirable. Spider-Man doesn't have any special superpowers. It's nothing more than stronger than ordinary people. But the responsibility he bears is extremely huge. Who doesn't want to be a hero and be admired by others? But Spider-Man, he knows very well that with great power comes great responsibility. He didn't use his superpowers to gain that vainglory. But when countless people are sleeping peacefully. Protect this city. Even if no one knows. Even if no one understands him, he is always consistent and willing to dedicate himself. Spider-Man, I'm convinced, his spirit deserves praise. The entire Marvel Universe. Countless people watching the video side. Before watching this review video. They also superficially believe that Spider-Man is just a more powerful ordinary person. But after reading it. They understood what a heavy responsibility this thin body bore, and they couldn't have imagined it. The third Spider-Man will die, however, just when everyone thought the video ended here. Lin Lan's voice never stopped. Spider-Man, he keeps proving himself. It's a pity that he died at his most brilliant age, and died on another planet. But did he really die like this? Everyone was stunned. There was joy on his face. Could it be that Spider-Man is not dead? I can't help but start to admire this author. The wonderful video above tugs at their heartstrings. First, the first generation pulled the train with his bare hands, then the second generation Spider-Man was lonely and miserable, and then the third generation died. Every scene makes people's hearts feel like being hit by a giant hammer. Extremely sad point, but the final result is a reversal summary. Very good point. This author's video is very well produced. I just love watching this kind of video. Lin Lan's words continue. The answer is of course no. Just after the picture of the 3 generations of Spider-Man in the same frame disappeared. The video continues again. Snapped. There was another snap of fingers. Spider-Man appeared on the screen blankly. Countless viewers who were watching the video breathed a sigh of relief, but Lin Lan's voice continued. Perhaps you will think that he is happier than the first 2. There is no death of relatives, no bullying by classmates, and no conflicts between brothers, but he was so happy, but he died on another planet. You may be surprised, or you may sigh, why is this? That's right. This is the responsibility of Spider-Man, although he feels that his power is insignificant in the face of disaster. As he answered, if he does nothing, he will feel guilty, and he will feel that the responsibility lies with him. So, Spider-Man, treat other people's suspicions like a will-o'-the-wisp. Be bold and go your night way. You will prove that you can become a hero without relying on anyone. Lin Lan's voice became high-pitched, and text appeared above the video. At this moment, the background music brought the inner emotions of countless viewers to the extreme, and Peter Parker, as the protagonist, heard these words he didn't speak for a long time. For him. Indeed it is. Every action he takes verifies this sentence all the time. Who is this author? He is so amazing. Peter Parker marveled. Finally spoke. The author's exquisite video transitions and sharp language all touched his heart. Showing the most vulnerable part of his heart vividly. Perhaps I should also learn how to fight without hiding myself. The video fades to darkness. The music is also melodious and melodious, like the end of all videos, representing the end. Spider-Man is officially over, although Lin Lan's voice said it was officially over, but the background music isn't over yet. Everyone's hearts could not be calm for a long time, as if they had watched a touching movie. Even if it was over, they would not be willing to leave. But at this time an extremely solemn mechanical sound sounded. Bring countless people back to their senses from their daze. Everyone who is on the list will receive rewards from the Dimension platform. Spider-Man, please accept your award. For special reasons, you have the right to choose 2 of the 3 rewards, and the rewards will be synchronized to Spider-Man and other parallel universes. At the same time, the people on the list need to reward the author with something. Chapter 9. When the sound of the dimensional platform sounded. The entire Marvel universe is in shock. 10. Extraordinary rewards. Spider-Man, I choose 1 or 2. Have you found Captain America? I'm coming over now. In the ruined building. Nick Fury's surprised voice rang out. His heart felt like a stormy sea, and he could not calm down for a long time. It's exactly as shown in the video. Captain America is not dead, and it's time to consider recruiting the Spider-Man named Peter Parker. But how did Spider-Man die? And before he died, he seemed to call Stark. Could it be said that this playboy will also do something in the future? After all, this video reveals too little information. Nick Fury has a hard time figuring out the relationship on his own. In the future, relying on S.H.I.E.L.'s super analytical capabilities, we may be able to figure out 1 or 2 things. What's more, this is just the first video. Follow-up videos may reveal more relevant information. Then he looked at Tony Stark and said, Stark, maybe this evaluation doesn't mean much to you now. Come with me and meet the heroes of the last century. His S.H.I.E.L.D. was made by your father. Nick Fury was about to take Tony Stark to Captain America's side. Suddenly I heard the sound of the dimensional platform. Distribute rewards. The pupil of Nick Fury's one eye dilated dramatically. You need to know when it appears from the dimensional platform. This has never happened before, but now, not only can it broadcast future scenes, it can also cause a reaction from the dimensional platform. Who is this author? Nick Fury could no longer imagine it, and could only stare at the dimensional platform, wondering what the reward would be. It scared me to death. Peter, I thought you were really dead. The other side. Little fat Ned breathed a sigh of relief. I was still proud that my good brother was Spider-Man. The result is the next second. The video showed the scene of his death. How could his fragile mind bear this? I almost cried. But fortunately, the author finally said that Peter was not dead. Otherwise, he would have to hold Peter Parker and cry for 4 or 5 days now. As for Peter Parker himself. But there was never any big reaction. Even when seeing your own death. He just sighed helplessly. As Spider-Man. He had the consciousness to die early. So he was not surprised when he saw his own death. Instead, he believed that it was his only destination. After possessing great power, I just didn't expect that I would come back from the dead. What happened in between? This was what made him most curious, but suddenly. The sound that popped up from the dimensional platform made him and Ned shake at the same time. Everyone who is on the list will receive rewards from the dimension platform. Spider-Man, please accept your award. For special reasons, you have the right to choose 2 of the 3 rewards. And the rewards will be synchronized to Spider-Man and other parallel universes. At the same time, the people on the list need to reward the author with something. Hear the sound of the dimensional platform. 3 options appeared in front of Peter Parker. At the same time. Everyone in the entire Marvel universe watching the video can see Spider-Man's options and see what he chooses. Option 1. Venom symbiote, an alien symbiote with thoughts, and can give the host powerful superpowers, but after improvement, it can be completely controlled by the host, making it more courageous and unrivaled. Option 2. Specify 2 people to be resurrected. The 2 people who are resurrected will appear in the healthiest state. Option 3. Unlimited lifespan. 3 rewards appeared on Peter Parker's electronic screen. Waiting for him to make a choice, and when everyone in the universe saw this scene. His face was full of shock and disbelief. Let's not talk about what the Venom symbiote is. Option 2 alone makes people take a breath. Designate 2 people to be resurrected. They can't even think about it. Even if Odin were on top, he probably wouldn't be able to perform this heaven-defying move, because this is already far beyond their cognition. But when they saw option 3. Even more, my heart was beating non-stop. You must know that for the overlord of one party, he must hope to rule forever, but the limits of life often take away this wish. So for normal people, who doesn't hope that they can live forever? As for the chooser of the reward, Spider-Man. There was also a huge wave in my heart, and I was extremely shocked. I didn't expect that the rewards given by this dimensional platform would be so terrifying. He was even a little panicked. But what everyone didn't expect was that he didn't hesitate at all. The choice was made. I choose 1 and 2. PS. Please give me flowers and evaluation votes! Exclamation mark. Dear readers and fathers, I count out to you. Bang bang bang. 11. The little bug resurrects Uncle and Gwen. At this moment. Spider-Man chose 1 and 2 without hesitation. If you first obtain the Venom symbiote, you can make yourself stronger and better able to protect what you want to protect. But the second option was what excited him the most. Designate 2 people to be resurrected, or reappear in the healthiest state. Even if he could only choose 1 of the 3 options, he would choose this one without hesitation, because the first 2 Spider-Mans were really miserable. He is obviously a hero. But he watched his relatives die in front of his eyes. He has never had this kind of experience. But he can feel it. It must be a heartbreaking feeling. Moreover, the dimension platform also said just now that the rewards he received will be synchronized to the worlds of the other 2 Spider-Man, which means that he can resurrect people who belong to their worlds. As for why not choose the third option. That's because of the video just now. He understood that eternal life was nothing. Only by doing your best in your limited life can you live up to the power he possesses. Cool. Peter Parker took a deep breath. He could feel his body shaking. After all, this is the first time that rewards have appeared on the dimensional platform. No one knows whether it is true or false. But his innermost hope was true. Chapter 10. Then clicked on the option at the top of the electronic screen. Congratulations to Spider-Man for winning the reward, which is being distributed when Peter Parker makes his choice. The voice of the dimensional platform also sounded. Anyone who is watching the video can see that a liquid-like substance appears on Peter Parker's body at this moment and then wraps him up. It adhered to his skin from top to bottom, forming a black battle suit. It looks stronger and more charming than before. Peter, what's up? Is this true? Ned asked from the side. It's not just him. Everyone watching the video also held their breath. I want to know whether the rewards mentioned by this dimensional platform are true. At this time, Spider-Man was seen clenching his fists tightly. Then took a deep breath. He stretched out one finger and easily lifted Ned, who was nearly 200 kilograms beside him. Is this the power of the Venom symbiote, Spider-Man? Exclaimed. Compared with before. My strength, senses and other physical qualities seem to have become more than a little stronger. It's simply a qualitative leap. It's actually true. No, the dimensional platform has really released rewards in the universe. Countless people were shocked. When they heard Spider-Man say it himself. My heart is beating like crazy. They couldn't believe what dimensional platform said was true. What does this mean? This means that everyone who makes the list will receive rewards, and they are incredible rewards. You must know that Spider-Man has received this award in only his 10th season. How terrifying will the subsequent heroes be? At this time, top 10 superheroes, which was originally regarded as a new genre, has undergone a qualitative change in the eyes of these people. It caused a huge sensation in the universe. They can't wait to see the follow-up. I especially want to know if I can be on this list, even though they are very anxious in their hearts, but their eyes are still fixed on Spider-Man. Because they want to know. This little spider will decide which 2 people will be resurrected. Guess who this little bug will resurrect? I don't know. It might be the person closest to me. After all, his parents are also dead. I have never seen anyone resurrected, so let us witness the miracle together. Countless people who are watching the video are looking forward to it. I saw that the dimensional platform continued to speak. Spider-Man, please choose 2 people to resurrect with just your thoughts. Peter Parker takes off his Venom suit. He once thought about how great it would be to be able to resurrect his parents. That's right. It was his turn to choose. He was a little confused. But the image of Gwen's death in his mind made him uneasy. He shook his head and threw away his thoughts. He thinks maybe those 2 Spider-Man need this reward more than he does. Then my mind flashed to my uncle and Gwen who died in front of Spider-Man, because he remembered that the platform said that rewards would be synchronized. So the uncles from both worlds will be resurrected. He hoped so. He prayed so, but he didn't know if he could see that picture. Just after Peter Parker made his choice. An extremely dazzling light came from the dimensional platform. Then the originally black screen. Suddenly continue. People in the universe who are watching the video have their eyes widened. Unwilling to miss any frame, they knew it must have been Spider-Man's choice that changed something. And also want to know. Who did Spider-Man resurrect? Are they his parents or 2 other people from the Spider-Man world? P.S. Please beg for flower evaluation votes, especially the monthly pass. If you have it for free, why not vote for me? Dear readers, I really need motivation. 12. Make up for the regrets and everyone's expectations. Sad. Whale. And video. The first Spider-Man is roaming the streets in the blink of an eye. We arrived at the familiar store. He recalled that he was angry with the store owner didn't help stop the gangsters in the end. Uncle Ben died tragically. Even now he still feels guilty in his heart. But after going through so much, Peter Parker now always remembers what Uncle Ben said to him. With great power comes great responsibility. Stop. Wait and see. Peter Parker's face was still solemn. People who are watching the video can also feel Peter Parker's sadness and guilt. Maybe this is the growth of Spider-Man. Yes, but now I also know what Spider-Man's choice is in our universe. Yeah, I didn't expect that little insect would choose to help others. I like him even more. The video continues just when Peter Parker was about to leave the place and continue to punish evil and promote good as Spider-Man. Suddenly, a familiar voice sounded behind him. Hello, Peter Parker, Uncle. When Peter Parker heard this voice, He froze on the spot point, then his pupils expanded sharply and he turned his head suddenly. When Uncle Ben's familiar appearance caught his eye, tears burst out of my eyes. It kept falling down his cheek. He couldn't believe that he could actually see Uncle Ben again. This is a dream. I'm dreaming, right, Peter? Parker hugged Uncle Ben tightly and said with a trembling voice point he felt everything was so real point, but he was also afraid that he was dreaming, that if he woke up from the dream, Uncle Ben would leave him again. Peter, I seem to have slept for a long time. I don't know why I was here when I woke up. I'm afraid I'm the only one dreaming, Uncle Ben said softly point. Keep patting Peter on the back point, give him comfort point. The background music is melodious and melodious, it makes people feel extremely calm and touching point. The viewers who were watching the video were also affected by Peter Parker's tears. Some sensitive and fragile viewers even shed tears. Maybe everyone has regrets in their hearts. The scene changes point. Cemetery point. Autumn leaves keep falling point represents love sickness. Chapter 11. In the eyes of countless people, a man stood lonely in front of a tombstone point. Everyone soon realized point this is the second Spider-Man point, and he was standing in front of his dead girlfriend's tombstone. For those who have watched the video, it is hard to understand until now, so they wanted to know what Peter Parker would look like when he saw his girlfriend resurrected. If I had been faster then, I would have been able to save you. In video point Peter Parker was in a daze, lonely point since Gwen died point. He has always been extremely guilty point. He remembered that he had promised Gwen's father not to involve Gwen point, but he made a mistake. But this is no reason to feel guilty, and the biggest reason is that even if he and Gwen are separated, he still loves her deeply. There is nothing more despairing than having someone you love die in front of you. Hello, what is your name? At this time point a sweet voice sounded point. Peter Parker felt like he was in a trance point. I thought I was daydreaming point. He seemed to see that sweet girl standing in front of him again point, and the questions asked were also asked in the class. Don't you know my name? No, I just want to know if you know your name. Peter Parker. Hello, Peter. My name is Gwen. Music plays in the background point full of sweetness and sadness. Everyone who was watching the video couldn't stop crying point. Only seen in the video point. Peter Parker's face froze for a moment point. Tears filled my eyes and fell down smoothly point. He rushed forward and hugged the girl. It seemed as if as soon as he let go, she would leave. The music became louder and the sound of the violin sounded, accompanied by the sound of the piano, which aroused the heartstrings of the audience every second. The picture zoomed from low to high, and the figures of Peter Parker and Gwen embracing each other became smaller and smaller, and finally disappeared from the picture. Brush. The picture once again shows the three generations of Spider-Man in the same frame point, but there are still a few silhouettes behind it point. They are: the first generation hugged Uncle Ben, the second generation hugged his girlfriend Gwen, and the third generation put on the Venom suit. With exciting music, the sound of the dimensional platform sounded. Spider-Man inventory is officially over. Countless people watching the video sighed in frustration point. They are still immersed in the emotions just now and have not come out point, but they can do it point. There are only blessings. It's over. This video is really enjoyable. Bless the three Spider-Mans. With great power comes great responsibility. Maybe I should take this as my motto. Blessings and blessings. In the Marvel Universe point, countless people wiped tears from their eyes. They all wish Spider-Man well point, although some of them lamented the end of the video point, but they also look forward to it point. The follow-up videos will be so exciting. Guess who the 9th place is? I can guarantee that he will be our new king, Thor. HMPH. It must be me, Iron Man. You all stop arguing. I, the Hulk, will be the first to refuse. Get out of the way. Star-Lord, didn't say anything. Everyone. At Ash%. PS. Please kneel down and ask for a ticket. If the data does not increase, the newbie will not have the motivation to code. CAC. 13. Cosmic Riot. Reward the spider suit. Marvel Universe point, Earth point, New York point, the Queen point. At this time, little Spider saw that the video continued to play, and just as he imagined, all the regrets of the two generations of Spider-Man had been filled. I saw his eyes were red point. I was immersed in the emotion and couldn't extricate myself for a long time. Peter, it seems that my account will gain a lot of followers in the future. Ned, on the side, said rudely. In fact, it is enlivening the atmosphere. He is proud of his brother from the bottom of his heart. Not just the superhero Spider-Man. He is a responsible man. Just when Ned said these words, Peter Parker also wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes. Finally got out of the emotion just now. He should be happy now. By the way, since I'm the 10th, who is the 9th? You must be stronger than me, right, Peter? Parker said expectantly. It's not just him. The entire Marvel universe is also looking forward to the follow-up inventory video. After all, everyone wants to be on the list. Not only can he be admired by thousands of people, but he can also receive heaven-defying rewards. I wonder who in the entire universe doesn't want to get it. The enthusiasm was high and the outcry was earth-shattering. Everyone is looking forward to it. Who is the 9th superhero? But just when they were concentrating and staring at the screen, suddenly a line of subtitles floated over, leaving everyone silent. Today's inventory video has ended. Please continue to watch tomorrow. If you like the author's video, please don't forget to join us everyone. I just took off my pants, and you told me it's done, isn't it right? Just when I was enjoying watching it, it disappeared. What the hell? You update every day. You, the author, are so arrogant. Update, update, update. I will kill all the broken dogs one day. +1+1. People across the universe saw this, be it gods, mortals or unknown races. They yelled and cursed one after another. Grief and anger seemed to pervade the entire universe. But it's no wonder they were so angry. I can only say that Lin Lan knows how to make videos first. Use the 3rd generation of Spider-Man to attract people's attention. A case-by-case analysis resonates, and the scene of the death of the 3rd generation was also played. Gave them hope, and dashed it. And then give them hope again. The echoes from beginning to end make people want to stop, full of tears. After that Lin Lan's video triggered unprecedented actions on the Dimension platform. Distribute rewards to Spider-Man in front of everyone in the universe. And he also witnessed with his own eyes what an act of defiance is. Chapter 12. By resurrecting 2 people, it made up for the regrets of the 2 generations of Spider-Man, and at the same time, the consciousness of the 3rd generation of Spider-Man was sublimated, and grew a lot. Just when people thought that after the 10th place was counted, it would be the 9th place's turn. Are you fucking telling me that it's gone? Gone. One more thing. Continue to watch tomorrow. What's even more disgusting is I beg you for 3 more rounds. Pooh. Give me nothing but the blade. However, no matter how angry or sad they are, it doesn't help. After all, they couldn't find out who the author was. Even if you find it, you can't put a knife to his neck and urge him to update, right? Without any choice. Everyone had no choice but to endure the restlessness looking forward to tomorrow's video. At the same time, SHIELD found Captain America because of the video, and Nick Fury took Tony Stark to visit Spider-Man. Peter Parker, in person. The entire Marvel universe has undergone tremendous changes because of Lin Lan's video. Hey, there are none. What a pity. I also want to know who the other 9 are. The other side. Peter Parker side. Transfer failure. Just when he was about to get up and continue to punish evil and promote good. Aunt May opened the door. He asked with a look of disbelief, Peter, you are actually Spider-Man, aren't May? Okay, you don't need to explain. The newspapers and news are all about you, but fortunately there is a gentleman who said he can help you. Aunt May hasn't finished speaking yet. A black braised egg caught Peter Parker's eyes. Likewise, there is the well-known billionaire and playboy Tony Stark. Hello, Peter Parker. It seems that you have to come with us. Here. This Peter knew that his life was about to change. But it suddenly occurred to him. What the dimensional platform said. After getting the reward. I need to reward the author with something. So he asked towards the dimensional platform, what do I need to tip the author? In other words, what can I tip him? The things you have now, or the items that appeared in the video. Please note, once the reward is successful, the items will not appear again. Hear the answer from the dimensional platform. Peter Parker's eyes lit up. He recalled the images of the future shown in the video. Two new sets of suits appeared. The first set is when he fights Captain America, and the second set is when he dies. Now he has the Venom suit. It doesn't matter if you have it or not. So he replied without hesitation, reward for a second future suit. At the same time. The other side. Lin Lan, who had just finished editing the 9th hero, was resting in bed. Sudden. There was a ding. Woke him up. When I picked up my phone, I saw the dimension platform reminding me, ding. Congratulations to the user Lin Lan for uploading a video that received a great response and also received a suit from Spider-Man. Do you want to receive it? Spider-Man's rewarded suit. What the hell? Lin Lan looked at the phone screen in confusion. Obviously do not believe the information of this dimensional platform. But driven by curiosity. He clicked yes anyway. Result. A ray of light shot into the sky from the phone screen. Suddenly a heavy iron lump fell on his bed. Take a closer look. Isn't this the suit that Iron Man customized specifically for Spider-Man in Avengers 3? Lin Lan's hands kept sliding on the suit. It would be a lie to say I'm not excited. Things that once could only appear in dreams appeared before my eyes, and there was a feeling of a dream being realized. Put it on. Just like what you see in the movies. The interior is filled with high-tech screens and electronic devices through your wrist. Able to adjust the mode of the spider suit. After trying for 2 hours, Lin Lan took it off with satisfaction. Congratulations to user Lin Lan for receiving the reward, and we look forward to you creating more high quality videos for our platform. And heard the prompt tone of the dimensional platform. The corners of his mouth raised slightly. Now he finally believes that this platform can actually issue rewards. So I sat in front of the computer as if I had been given a shot of chicken blood. Let's start counting. The 9th superhero. Thanks to reader Dad has 587 for his monthly ticket. Thanks also to all the readers and fathers for their flower tickets. Please come more. 14. The 9th among the top 10 superheroes, Hulk. In an instant. The time came to the next day. This is true for everyone in the Marvel universe. It's all a torture. After all, everyone wants to know who the 9th superhero is. Of course it's not, because I'm excited about the heaven-defying reward. I just like watching videos, especially this new type of video. Well, that must be the case. Reality. All people in the universe have their own thoughts in their hearts. Earth. New York. In the laboratory. At this moment. Nick Fury, Tony Stark and Spider-Man Peter Parker are already here. And in front of them. It is frozen in ice. The hero of the last century, Captain America. That's right. When Nick Fury saw a glimpse of the future. He immediately asked Coulson to search vigorously. As expected. I really found Captain America and take it to the lab to unblock it. I couldn't help but sigh. The heroes of the last century did not die, even after being frozen for decades. Coulson, have you found the author called Lin Lan? I think it is necessary to get in touch with this mysterious existence. Chapter 13. Sorry, we used the most advanced means, but we couldn't find him. It seems that he is like a person from another world. Coulson replied helplessly. Until now he still hasn't recovered from the shock. And Nick Fury's one eye also flashed a hint of surprise. If you are not a person of this world. That might be the so-called god. Oh my god, is he Captain America? I'm a huge fan of his. He's still alive. I feel like I'm going crazy. Peter Parker kept chattering beside him. In fact, I'm ecstatic inside. For many people. Captain America is more than just a hero. It is also a symbol of spirituality. Peter Parker admitted. He learned a lot from Captain America. But at this moment. Coulson reminded from the side. It's almost time. The inventory will begin soon. Leave Captain America to us. Here. The words everyone took out their mobile phones. He no longer looked as calm and composed as yesterday. I think I might need that reward more. At this time, Tony Stark's heart was filled with anticipation, passion, and restlessness. Although he may not have the consciousness to be a superhero yet. But when he read the tragic experiences of the 3 generations of Spider-Man. My heart is also aching. The powerlessness and guilt shown by Spider-Man all stung his heart. It made his sense of responsibility even stronger, and the reward Spider-Man received made his Heart even more excited. Designate 2 people to be resurrected. Yes, if there is a chance. He would definitely resurrect his parents without hesitation. The last time a new element was created. He saw the video left by his father. The father he once disliked very much actually said such touching words in the video. This also caused a huge change in his view of his father. Before this he may just hope that he can be on the list so as to satisfy his vanity and slapneck fury in the face. But now his inner world has undergone earth-shaking changes. That's right. He needs more power. He didn't want people to die in front of him like Gwen. As for Spider-Man, he recalled what Spider-Man said before his death in the previous Spider-Man video. He must have said it to his face. That is to say, in the future. Will Spider-Man die in front of him? Maybe he still doesn't know why. But he felt. At least, if you know the future, you have the ability to change it. Well, it can definitely be changed, as long as you can gain strength. You will have the ability to prepare for a rainy day. He wants to protect what he holds dear, so he must be on the list as guard. At this moment, Thor's face no longer looked as calm as it did yesterday. On the contrary, my heart is burning. I really want to be on the list, because he knows that if he does not make the list, then he will lose the face of Odin and the entire Asgard. How to establish prestige in the 9 realms. So he must be on the list. What's more, the incredible reward. Who wouldn't be moved. As for Loki on the other side, his face was full of shock. He really didn't expect that this video would actually give out incredible rewards. You know, from childhood to adulthood. He learned magic from his mother. Compared with his brother Thor, his own fighting power is simply extremely weak. He can only use illusions to deceive his stupid brother, so he expects and desires power. Actually, he knew it. What he wanted was never the throne middle, but treat him the same as Thor. Change. Why is it that only Thor is admired by thousands of people, but he is ostracized by others? Group. So only after you have the power can you decide everything. 3. Loki must be on the list. 7. One time passed by minute 7. When time comes to the same moment as yesterday to everyone who was on Lin Lan's homepage refreshed their information one after another. 9. Sure enough, I saw a new video. 1. Left square bracket inventory of the top 10 superheroes. Number 9. 1 click. 9 click like crazy. Everyone is rushing to see who is 9th. Deng deng. Deng deng deng. Another soft piano sound very similar to the previous video sounded. And the picture started to continue. A huge spaceship floats quietly in space. But it's different from the spaceship in the previous video. This one looks even bigger. But at this moment. Countless flames burned raging from the middle of the spacecraft, quickly engulfing the entire spacecraft, turning into countless fragments floating in space, and the shockwave generated by the explosion annihilated the asteroid belt on the side into ashes, giving people a strong visual impact. Although there was no sound of explosion. But everyone saw a scene that was even more shocking than last time. But they know better now. The author's technique is to echo from beginning to end. So this scene must be a picture of the future. Next, let's start counting the 9th of the top 10 superheroes. At this time, Lin Lan's low and magnetic voice sounded. Countless cosmic people who wanted to send blades have given up on this idea. Then continue to listen to him. He was confused, but brave. There are 2 souls living in one body. When facing friendly people, he is kind and knowledgeable. When facing enemies, he punches hard. His roar will make heaven and earth tremble. His punch will make the gods cry. Sudden pause. The curiosity of countless people was wildly aroused. Whose roar made the world tremble? Whose punch made the gods cry? Just when everyone's expectations were filled. Lin Lan's voice continues, counting the top 10 superheroes. Number 9. Hulk. Reason for being on the list: he plays 2 roles. In the face of disaster, he either uses his super wisdom or strikes hard. Even if he is confused, he never gives up looking for a solution. Even when facing God, he never be afraid. He is a heavyweight superhero with both wisdom and strength. Chapter 14. P.S. Thanks to all the readers' fathers for their flower tickets. I kowtow to you. Bang bang bang. 15. Will the gods cry after one punch? Come on, let me see. Hulk. This moment point, when Lin Lan named the 9th superhero point, a big green man appeared in the minds of countless people point relying on the dimensional platform point. They were also lucky enough to see the power of the Hulk point, and now it seems that he is fighting with another big red guy, and in their hearts, this big green guy is completely unworthy of the title of hero, at least the last Spider-Man, although not as powerful as him. Still wandered around the city, punishing evil and promoting good point. But this big green guy point, every time it appears, someone is killed or injured. The building was even damaged. How can this be called a hero? I can't figure it out. I really can't figure it out. People in the universe are confused point. Logically speaking, superheroes are all positive images, but the impression the Hulk gives people is only destruction. A lot of people died when the military rounded up the Hulk last time, and the battle with the Red Giant seemed to be even more tragic. Some innocent people were also involved. Yeah, why is he on the list? I don't know, but I think we shouldn't jump to conclusions so early, lest we get slapped in the face by this dog author again. People were talking a lot point, no matter how much confusion they have in their hearts, but none of them continue to question it point. Watch the video instead point. I hope the author can give them a satisfactory explanation. 9 Realms Asgard point. At this time point, the people of Asgard once again believed that the person making this comment was Thor. After all, the god of thunder roared, and the 9 realms were shaken. One punch, except for Odin and Heimdall. Who of the ordinary gods in Asgard can withstand it? Result: hell no. It's not even Thor. Why is he this big guy? Also, he can beat me with one punch. This author is crazy. He must be crazy. He doesn't take our gods seriously at all. Everyone complained angrily point. As a people of Asgard point, it is inevitable that they have arrogance in their hearts. Call yourself a god. But what is this author's evaluation of the Hulk? One punch and make the gods cry. Come on point, give me a punch and see point. Let's see who cries first. Not just the general public point. Anger also appeared on Thor's face point. Now he is in the prime of his glory and is about to be crowned king point. As a result, this big guy who doesn't look very smart can actually get such a high evaluation. How could he be willing to do so? Just ask how many people in the entire 9 realms have been beaten by him with one punch. Not only the gods will cry, but the entire 9 realms will tremble. How dare you tell me that this big green guy can get this rating? Thor naturally put himself into it point. Very unhappy point. I want to destroy this Hulk point. So he turned to Odin and asked, I will take the warriors of Asgard and destroy him. The reputation of our god cannot be quiet. All I saw was the throne point. Odin slammed the eternal scepter in his hand to the ground point. Makes a crisp buzzing sound point. The powerful pressure released. The whole hall fell silent. Although Odin is a little confused now point, but compared to everyone including Thor, he believed even more in the author's words. After all, even a strong man like him can't do that incredible thing. So I have a bit of respect for the author of this video. Everyone was speechless. I had to watch it silently point, and Loki saw Thor's deflated appearance point. An imperceptible smile appeared on his face. No idea point. He will be dubbed the weak god. The other side point. Earth. The Hulk. Is he the one who caused a scene in the streets of New York a few days ago? Nick Fury couldn't have imagined it point. It was actually this big green guy point. Although General Ross of the military was responsible for the capture of the Hulk point, but as the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., he still knows a thing or two about this. Easy to go berserk. Extremely powerful. This is the information he obtained point. In addition to being powerful point, no matter from which point you look at it point, none of them fit the characteristics of a superhero. So he wanted to know 2 point Hulk point. Why on earth can it be on the list? But at this moment point, Captain America on the side suddenly opened his eyes, sat up, and looked around confusedly. Where am I? Hello, Captain America. Welcome back, Nick Fury spoke point. Tony and Spider-Man on the side also turned their attention from their mobile phones to Captain America. Hello, my name is Tony Stark. Whoa, it's really Captain America. Hello, my name is Peter Parker. You can also call me Spider-Man. I have heard your stories since I was a child. It's really amid 10,000 words. Just when Peter Parker was chatty again point, Nick Fury projects the dimensional platform onto the room's giant screen point. Then he said to Captain America, Captain, I think you should learn to understand modern society. You might as well watch this video first. At The same time point throughout the universe point they all held their breath and concentrated point. I hope this video can give them an explanation as to why the Hulk is on the list. Camotage, Mage, did you foresee something? At this moment point Modu asked point. I saw that ancient one in front of me had just finished using the Eye of Agamotto point. Her face looked confused and relieved for a while point. So Modo thought point the ancient one must have foreseen the future. Yes, I have seen countless futures. This Hulk, he is indeed a hero. However, I seem to have found another guy who can become the supreme mage. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15. In the future point she saw many futures but without exception, they all ended in failure point. But she found a possibility point. It was Hulk who came through time and borrowed her Eye of Agamotto. Master Guyi looked into the distance point. It seems to run through the entire Earth point. Came to a hospital point. Whispered, Stephen Strange. Modus. Pupils dilated rapidly point. My heart is extremely shocked. Unexpectedly, the appearance of the video not only changed the future, but also allowed Master Ancient One to find another Supreme Master. While I was in awe of the Ancient One in my heart, I'm also in awe of the creator of this video. At this time point Brazil point Banner has been through so much point already fled point. These days he has been evading pursuit by the military point. I thought I could live an ordinary life point but I didn't expect it point. The 9th number in top 10 superheroes is actually me. I'm just a murderer who can't control myself. How can I deserve the title of hero? Banner was sluggish point. There's not that excitement that other people want to be on the list point. Instead, he let out a long sigh point. Want to see it point. How did I get on the list? Thanks to the reader's dad 18,713 for the 100 reward. Exclamation mark. A gift from all readers' fathers. Zio Mengson is here to thank you and kowtow to you. Bang bang bang. 16. This punch is earth shattering. The video begins. Several figures in white coats came into view point. Of course, they are not doctors, but scientists. An experiment is taking place point. Buzz. The whole space seemed to be shaking. The energy condensed by the experimental device is getting stronger and stronger. Danger. Saw a colleague about to be irradiated point. Banner exclaimed point. Throw it to the ground point. But at this moment point along with a crisp buzzing sound, a green ray cut through the sky and shone on him. The background music changes from sad to passionate point accompanied by a shocking roar. Everyone saw the scene when Banner transformed into the Hulk for the first time. Brutal and furious, the destructive power caused can only be described as staggering. It turns out that this is how the big guy transformed. I thought he was like this originally, but I didn't expect that he was actually a scientist. And he turned into a monster just to save his colleagues. Yes, but even so, he did cause damage, and it is reasonable for the military to arrest him. The people watching the video didn't feel sympathy for him point. It is believed that his existence will inevitably cause huge damage point. Then he looked down point. In the video, Banner is seen hiding and searching for solutions with his girlfriend Betty point. But what they didn't expect was his girlfriend's father, General Ross, wanted to use him to make a super serum, so he kept chasing him, resulting in casualties again and again. He endures and avoids just to prevent his violence from hurting others. But the truth is often the case. The more patient you are, the more others will hurt you. Lin Lan's deep voice sounded point. There seemed to be a hint of anger mixed in with it point as the music played. People watching the video were emotionally aroused point. They just found out now point. It turns out that the military's arrest of the Hulk was not for the sake of national peace and prosperity point. Instead, they were used as experimental subjects to create super soldiers. Soon point the scene changes. Banner was caught point and used the serum to create an even more terrifying monster abomination. People who saw this scene clenched their fists. They also felt aggrieved. The background music is also at this moment even more high-pitched. Bang, bang bang. Amazing impact sounds continued to resound. In the video, the fists of the Hulk and the abomination were constantly bombarded together. With each punch, the power exploded into terrifying shock waves, going round and round. It swept away in all directions, knocking away surrounding houses, buildings and even pedestrians and vehicles, causing a huge noise. The Hulk was even beaten to the ground by hate. Roar. The Hulk roared angrily. He watched helplessly as his girlfriend was taken away by her father, frustrated, unwilling, and reluctant to stay. A mixture of emotions. In the end, the strength increased by an unknown number of times, and Abomination was knocked to the ground. The whole earth suddenly cracked with a huge spider web crack, shaking like crazy, as if an earthquake was coming. This shows how amazing his anger and strength are. Hiss. Is this the power of the Hulk? It looks pretty good. It's so cool. I suddenly feel so relieved. But, despite this, he doesn't protect humans like Spider-Man, although countless people were very relieved to see this scene. But some people still raised questions. That is the Hulk. From beginning to end, he never appeared in danger. The video continues. The background music suddenly changed from exciting to sad. Brush. A beam of light shot into the sky. Like a key. It opened a huge hole in the sky. Countless warships like huge whales broke through and descended on the earth with a destructive pressure. Oh my god, what is this? Is this a picture of the future, sir? Odin, a space warship of this level should be able to easily wipe out a planet. Countless people held their breath and stared. Staring at the screen. His face was full of shock and disbelief. My heart was pounding, and I couldn't calm down for a long time, as if I had set off a huge wave. It was as if these space warships would break through the screen and come to them. Not only people living on Earth, but also alien civilizations such as Asgard saw this scene. They were all extremely shocked. They know such terrifying power. It is enough to destroy a technologically advanced planet. What's more, a low-level planet like Earth. The expectations of countless people were filled. They want to know what will happen next. The video continues. Whoops. The strong wind howled. Just like 3D. The huge warship exuded great coercion. It shuttled between the high-rise buildings in New York. The strong winds and waves set off shattered all the glass of the surrounding houses on both sides, and the people fleeing frantically on the streets were also caught. Knocked to the ground, the vehicles exploded one by one like fire lotuses. Chapter 16. In front of the huge warship, a red armor is flying. Many people recognized it. It's Iron Man. Roar. The huge warship opened its huge steel mouth, like a wild beast, and followed Iron Man closely. But at this moment, the screen zooms out. A person appeared in front of everyone. It's banner. The Hulk appears. It's the Hulk. In the face of disaster, he actually appeared. But he must not be thinking about confronting this warship. With this inertia and power, not to mention death, serious injury is inevitable. Why doesn't he run away? Countless people who had raised questions just now shut their mouths, and those who believe that the Hulk will come forward are extremely worried. In their eyes, the warship, which was several hundred meters long, impacted with all its strength, and the destructive power it caused was quite astonishing. Not to mention the Hulk, who is only a few meters tall. He will be seriously injured. Even if he doesn't die, I'll tell you a secret, Captain. I'm angry all the time, but at this moment, Banner turned around and said something. The people watching held their breaths and watched. After Banner finished speaking, he turned around to face the huge warship again. The muscles in his body expanded wildly, and he transformed into the Hulk, and then concentrated the endless power in his body on his right fist, accompanied by a roar, suddenly bombarded towards the huge warship. Boom. Earth-shattering explosions resounded through the sky, and Hulk's right fist was seen hitting the front of the huge warship like a whale. The force that exploded directly brought his head to an emergency stop. After sliding on the ground for several meters, the tail of the huge warship was hit by the inertia shows an inverted posture. Countless gravel and dust flew everywhere, and deep scratches appeared on the road. With this punch, the entire warship was shattered. Explosions continued, flames burned, and smoke billowed like a tsunami, boiling in all directions. Sweep away. Countless people saw this scene. Stunned. Not a word could come out. They just felt their faces were burning. I was slapped hard by this contrast. This punch was earth-shattering. That's right. Although the Hulk has a bad temper and can cause astonishing damage, many people dislike him. But When faced with a strong enemy, he punches hard. Every punch is earth-shattering. But, is that just that? No. Even the gods are afraid of his fists. At this time point the music becomes intense. Lin Lan's deep voice also increased a few degrees. Countless people are looking forward to it. I want to know what gods Hulk fought with. After all, the scenes just now were so shocking. It shouldn't be any different from the gods. Asgard. Thor and Loki are also looking forward to it. Who is it? Thank you all readers and parents for your flower tickets. Please listen to your suggestions and try to have as many words as possible in each ticket. 17. The god who is so weak. I didn't expect that I would transform again. At this time point after the battle with Abomination. Banner has been traveling around the world. Until I was in India, helping patients in Calcutta and living a peaceful life. But now I see myself in the video. He transformed into the Hulk once again. I couldn't help but feel a little emotional. That's right. His current wish. Just spend your life peacefully like this. I don't want to transform into the Hulk again. Because he knows once you transform yourself. Then there will be innocent casualties, but I didn't expect it. The earth will suffer such a huge disaster. But come to think of it. What if the earth was really invaded by aliens? Even if he wanted to live a peaceful life, it was impossible. So the best way is to strike hard and protect the earth. But the author's words also aroused his curiosity. Can one's own punch really compete with a god? He wasn't the only one who thought so. Others watching the video also had the same emotions and expectations. Here I go. Hulk's punch is good, and even though he was treated so cruelly by humans in the early stage, he still stood up resolutely. He is a real man. I like it. It seems that we all blamed him wrongly. If it weren't for this video, I would still think that Hulk is a crazy beast. I didn't expect it to surprise me. Yes, his power is really too strong. With one punch, even the huge warship was cracked. However, what I want to know most is whether he has ever fought against a god. Asgard. Above the main hall. Countless people are discussing it. Their first impressions of the Hulk have completely changed. The previous dimensional platform was about Hulk. All our videos of rampages leading to heavy casualties. You can't blame them for having such a bad impression of Hulk. But when they saw Hulk being treated so cruelly by the military, he resolutely stood up to protect mankind. Everyone gave a thumbs up and praised him. What a man. Even Thor nodded appreciatively. The heroic and ambitious speech said, if there is a chance, I would like to recruit this person as my subordinate and follow me to fight together. It will be fun. I don't know if you can beat him, brother. At this time a voice of emotion sounded. Thor turned his head and saw that the speaker was Loki. At this moment, he had strong limbs and a simple mind. Of course he had no idea what Loki was thinking. So he said bluntly, hit this big guy and I'll give him one hand. Here. This countless people of Asgard chanted. Even Odin showed some appreciation. As the new king. Even if it doesn't make the list, there's no rush. On the contrary, he still retains the confidence of a king. Good. Very good. Odin believes that Thor has this ability. Captain? Is it Captain America again? The other side. Director braised egg is touching the braised egg. Pupils dilate dramatically. Forget it. If Captain America and Iron Man were in the first Spider-Man video. A video of the Hulk actually appeared. This couldn't help but make him suspicious. Will these people be connected together in the future? The thought of this Nick Fury's heart was pounding. Chapter 17. Although each video can show a glimpse of the future. But it's difficult to piece together. For example, why did Spider-Man fight with Captain America? Why was he on another planet with Iron Man? And why did he die? He didn't know any of this. However, when the Hulk's inventory video showed another corner of the future. Nick Fury was shocked. I discovered that this author cut up the future and pieced it together in each hero's video. That is to say. The more videos that come with the hero. The picture of the future will become clearer. Cool. Nick Fury took a long breath. Although as steady as he is at this moment, my heart is extremely excited. At least now he knows that in the near future, there will be an invasion of alien civilization. Although I don't know how it was invaded. But it's better than crossing the river by touching stones. Can be prevented in advance. Captain, tell me what you think. Nick. Fury turned around. Set your sights on Captain America. Of course he knows. Modern society for the heroes of the last century. Extremely unfamiliar, not to mention the existence of dimensional platforms that transcend cognition. And hearing Nick Fury's words, Captain America was also stunned. To be honest. Modern society has dealt a huge blow to him. All technological levels completely overwhelmed his era. And when he saw the dimensional platform. Those videos of alien civilizations, it also refreshed his outlook on life. To be honest, earth-shaking changes have taken place during the decades I have been sleeping. However, if there is a place where I can serve, I think I would be very willing. Captain America says so. But let's be honest. He hasn't recovered yet. In the past few decades, he didn't know how his former comrade in arms was doing, let alone how she was doing now, whether to marry as a wife or to live, grow old, sick and die. He does not know. He didn't want to know either. He was afraid that he would not be able to bear the consequences. Very confused. Very. But, Captain, maybe you will fight again soon. But for now, let's just watch the video quietly. Nick Fury's eyes flashed with fierceness. I'm already fully prepared in my heart. Anyone who invades Earth, no one will be spared. Video continues. Hulk's huge green body was seen jumping back and forth on the warship in the air. Every jump. All the warships will be destroyed. But at this moment. The perspective of the picture is above the sky. Hulk roared. Jump off the warship, arriving at the rooftop of the Stark Industries building, rushing towards a thin body. Bang. A dull crashing sound resounded. I saw that thin body flying out like a cannonball, smashing through the glass, hitting the interior wall heavily, creating a huge spider web pit, and countless rubbles fell to the ground. At this time. Everyone watching the video exclaimed. They seemed to recognize who this guy was. It's Odin's son, Loki. This idiot dares to disrespect me. Above the main hall. Loki yelled angrily. Just now he was taunting Thor as to whether he could beat this big guy. In the blink of an eye, he saw himself being attacked. How could he bear it? So he snorted contemptuously and declared, I swear as the son of Odin, he will definitely be taught a lesson by me. Here. Loki's words. Confidence also appeared on everyone's faces. Although Loki is not very popular, but they are all Asgardian gods anyway. At this time. All very united. Think Loki can teach this guy a lesson. But who would have thought? Video continues. Raw. Hulk rages again. His hands kept hitting his chest. Just as he was about to run towards Loki again. Loki stood up, his face full of anger and dissatisfaction, and scolded him. That's enough. Who do you think you are? I'm a god, you idiots. You can't even think of humiliating me. You. Boom. Boom boom boom. The words are not finished yet. Spec 1 mark Sebastian Sulfur Temple and Hulk grabbed his foot and smashed it to the ground crazily. Every time he hit it, a huge pit appeared on the ground, which shook the airwaves in circles, and the momentum caused was extremely amazing. Then he threw Loki on the ground like trash. When leaving, he didn't even look back and snorted, a god so weak. See this scene. The entire Asgard, and even the people in the universe, cannot sit still. 18. Loki felt comfortable watching Thor being beaten. 9 Realms Asgard. Silence. Silence. No one in the entire hall made a sound. Their faces were full of shock and disbelief. It was like a huge wave was setting off in my heart. One wave after another hitting me, trembling violently. They couldn't believe it. The son of Odin, Loki, would be beaten by the Hulk like this. Shame and frustration. This is something no one can imagine. Odin. Loki is treated like this. How can I bear it? Yes. But why is Loki with those warships? It seems like Loki invaded the Earth and was beaten violently, right? Countless people were originally extremely angry, but based on the video just now, they seem to realize that Loki was with the invading warship. In other words, Hulk beat the gods violently to protect the Earth. Everyone originally thought that Loki could subdue this big man. But who would have thought of being beaten in return? Chapter 18. The thought of this, everyone was furious. When he was about to grab his knife and fight. Suddenly realized that Loki seemed to be with the invasion fleet, so he put down his weapon. If we go to trouble Hulk now, other cosmic civilizations will only say that their Asgardians don't distinguish between right and wrong. and they had disgraced Odin. In the main hall, everyone looked at Loki and saw embarrassment written all over his face. He didn't expect that he would become a god who was beaten by Hulk. He immediately lowered his head. Grievance, unwillingness, shame, and anger. Various emotions were mixed in his heart. He clenched his fists tightly. He raised his head and looked at the video again, his eyes showing terrifying murderous intent and revenge. He vowed not only to fight for the throne, but also to bloodbath the earth. Thor on the side originally wanted to comfort him. But when I think about it, Loki will invade the earth in the future. He froze in place. In the face of great right and wrong. He chose justice and truth. Wrong is wrong. There's not much to say. The video is still going on. After beating up Loki. Hulk continued to shuttle between tall buildings like a beast. Crazy bombardment of the space fleet. Even if countless light bombs exploded on his body. He is not afraid either. He would only respond to them with his roars and fists. People who were watching the video suddenly saw a visual feast that constantly impacted their eyeballs. Facing such a powerful space fleet, they saw Hulk's heroic and invincible appearance. No holding back, only move forward. This kind of strength deserves their respect. But at this moment. The video continues. The background music gets even louder. Whoops, whoops. Cheers and noises suddenly broke out. In the video, a huge venue that is almost 10 times the size of an ordinary football field comes into view. Countless people are calling for it. The scene was extremely lively, and when the sight is closer, Hulk and Thor appear in the video, and it looks like a big battle is about to begin. Thor, why is he here? HMPH. It goes without saying that our new king must be out to avenge Loki. Didn't Thor just say, hit this guy and give him a hand? That's right. That's what Thor said just now. He still thinks so now. After all, his reputation as a god of thunder is not false. No matter how powerful that big guy is, Thor is a god and the son of Odin, so his physical fitness must be stronger than him. Well, yes, that must be the case. Alright. He admitted he panicked. Don't look at Thor's confident face. But he was also panicking inside. Now is the time when he is about to be crowned king. If you haven't fought the Hulk at this point, not only will his ability be questioned by the people of Asgard, he will also have no dignity at all in the 9 realms. So he was hoping and praying in his heart. There must be no trouble. Just as Thor was staring at the screen. The 2 people in the video moved. Thor stretched out a hand, gently placed it on Hulk's huge palm, with a gentle look on his face, and whispered that Hulk would not be harmed. And Hulk was stunned for a while. Not only the viewers in the video, but also the viewers outside the video held their breaths and watched with surprise on their faces. They didn't expect it. Thor actually thought of this move. After all, they know that Hulk transforms from anger. If you let him feel at peace. Maybe the strength will be greatly reduced. See this scene. Everyone in Asgard cast admiring glances at Thor, and Odin's one eye also showed more appreciation. Don't be impatient or impatient when things happen. But you can come up with this method. Not bad. Very good point. But at this moment, roar that shook the earth. After Hulk was stunned for a while, he suddenly grabbed Thor's hand, and then just like slamming Loki, he kept smashing it towards the ground. Every time he threw it, the whole ground shook violently, as if an earthquake was coming, and he smashed out huge pits one after another. Countless gravel and dust rose into the sky, rolling and whizzing away. Wow. See this scene. Countless people lamented. His face was staring at the huge green man at the top of the screen, as if he had seen a ghost. Totally in disbelief. Not only Loki, but Thor was also thrown violently by the Hulk. Yes, this is what it feels like. The scene changes. In the video. Loki, who was watching the battle above, stood up excitedly and shouted. Looking at this scene with gloating. Loki, who was watching the video, lowered his head in embarrassment, because the people in Asgard looked at him again. However, an imperceptible smile appeared on his face. Yes, yes, yes. Loki was ecstatic. Unexpectedly, I was beaten violently. Thor was also beaten violently. This feeling is so wonderful. And he watched himself in the video watching Thor being beaten. It's even more indescribable. So he asked with a hint of sarcasm, my good brother, didn't you just say that you should give this big guy one hand when you hit him? Thor. PS. Kneel down and beg for a ticket. 19. Iron Man. Danger, my good brother, didn't you just say that you should give this big guy one hand when you hit him? At this moment when Loki's voice sounded no one in the entire hall dared to speak. That's right they remember it very clearly Thor did say that just now but now the video shows him being beaten violently it was undoubtedly a heavy slap on his face. Whether you believe it or not, this was all due to my carelessness, Thor argued paled face and he looked at Odin above the throne from time to time my heart is full of worries. Chapter 19. I saw Odin slam the eternal spear into the ground again. A clear voice mixed with terrifying pressure swept across the entire hall. Boom, boom, boom. The hearts of countless people shook violently, as if they had been hit by a hammer. He half knelt on the ground in fear. They know Odin is angry, but no one found it strange. After all, it is on the dimensional platform, a medium that spans the entire universe. His two sons, Odin, were both beaten violently by this big man. Undoubtedly, he was challenging Odin's majesty and slapping him in Odin's face. How could he not be angry? But despite this, Odin didn't speak either. No one dared to speak, but in their hearts, they were already afraid of this Hulk. One punch, and the gods cry. It doesn't look like he's bragging, and they're even guessing. Will Hulk become their Asgardian enemy in the future? Unlike the people of Asgard. The rest of the universe raised their arms and shouted. In their hearts, Hulk is as invincible as a god of war, facing the oppressive alien warship. He punched hard. Even the gods dared to punch him. Every punch came out. It was like a bombardment hitting them, making their blood boil. This superhero is so enjoyable to watch. Yes, I thought he wouldn't stand up after being disgusted by the military. Sure enough, heroes will stand up in disasters. It's so cool. This battle scene is what I want to see. Although, in the video just now they didn't know whether Thor was beaten again in the end but it was just two violent beatings against the gods. It has already impressed people's hearts. Just when they thought Hulk could continue to be so brave the background music pauses instead. Melodious and sad music sounded, and Lin Lan's voice also sounded. He is a brave and fearless hero, a warrior incarnate in anger. Even when facing gods, he will swing his fist at them without hesitation. However, even though he is infinitely powerful and invincible, isn't there ever a time when he is confused and lost? Lin Lan was editing this video. Originally I just wanted to show the brave side of Hulk. But thinking about heroes is not all about the glorious side. So the other side of Hulk is shown. In this process, the two personalities of Banner and Hulk continued to grow and finally reached an agreement. This is a sublimation for the character of Hulk. The video continues. Boom boom boom. The whole earth was shaking. The Hulk crashed through the city as if he had lost his mind. Countless screams, wails, and car explosions echoed throughout the space. But at this moment a huge red figure appeared in the video. Of course it's not hate but Iron Man. Holy shit. That's me, Mr. Stark. You can actually build this thing, Tony Stark exclaimed. The little spider on the side also agreed. His eyes were filled with admiration. Obviously he admires the genius in front of him. Not only created the steel suit. Even huge armors can be made. Of course. Worship is worship. He still wanted to know. Can Tony Stark stop him? Video continues. All I saw was the sky. One after another. Diamond shaped iron plates fell around Hulk. Then he wrapped it and released super high voltage electricity in an attempt to stop him. But what Tony Stark didn't expect was that Hulk suddenly dived into the ground, appeared from behind Tony Stark, and punched him. Bang. A dull sound resounded. Hulk's punch was so terrifying. One punch sent the huge armor in front of him flying dozens of meters away. Fortunately, Iron Man reacted. Ignition. The powerful thrust stabilized his body. Then have a crazy fight with the Hulk in the city. Countless fires shot up into the sky, and thick smoke billowed like a tsunami, setting off layers of waves of sand and dust, along with countless rubbles flying everywhere. The two of them fought from one end of the city to the other. The momentum created can only be described as amazing. But at this moment Iron Man summoned a new type of weapon, and changed his right fist to a spring. Sleep to me. Sleep to me. Sleep to me. Bang. Bang 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 bang. Just as Iron Man kept mumbling point, the spring fist of his right hand bombarded Hulk's face with extremely high frequency point. Every punch struck out created a terrifying shockwave point. The burst of power continuously smashed Hulk's head into the ground, even making a huge dent, which made people tremble in fear when they saw this scene. Here, is this the Playboy? This is so fucking cool. I thought Hulk was invincible. Whose armor is this? Iron Man. It's Iron Man. That Playboy. People who are watching the video point, they all found it unbelievable point. Unexpectedly, the Playboy Iron Man actually made Haoka submissive point. However, just when everyone thought that Hulk was defeated point, vomit. In the video point, the Hulk spat out his teeth covered in blood point, his eyes flashed point. Everyone who was watching the video felt a chill in their backs and numb scalps when they saw this scene. Exclaim, Iron Man is in danger. PS. Please give me flower tickets 20. Hulk's self-blame. Oh my god, is this me? No way. At this moment point, Banner, who was in a small alley in Indonesia, widened his eyes. He never expected it point. He can be so brave point. Not only was he invincible in the Battle of New York, but he also beat up Thor. This is something that not many people dare to imagine. However, just when he thought he was going to be braver. Chapter 20. But suddenly I heard the author say that he also had his downturns. Downturn? Haven't I recovered from my slump? Banner was puzzled point. He gave up his girlfriend and devoted himself to helping people point. Isn't it a manifestation of recovery? Could it be that? Will you fall into a downturn again in the future? Banner frowned point. I recall what the author said about him point. One person plays two roles and two souls live in his body. That's right point. If it were before, he would definitely be confused by this sentence point, but when he was preparing to shoot himself on the glacier, Hulk rescued him. He didn't realize it until that day point. In his body, he not only has the soul of Banner, but also the Hulk. He really didn't expect it point. This author actually knows this, and I still know him very well point. So I really want to know point, how will he be depressed in the future? After all, knowing the future, he can prevent it. And maybe even communicate with another soul in his body. Unexpectedly point, after the author has finished speaking point, a scene of himself being beaten by Iron Man appeared on the screen. More coincidentally point, at the same moment, a plane stopped in the open space in the distance point. The leader was a man wearing a black eye patch point, and behind him are Spider-Man, Captain America and Tony Stark. Iron Man, maybe you'd better not get close, otherwise I'm afraid I won't be able to control myself and beat you all to pieces. Banner tried his best to control the anger in his body point. He could feel that another soul in his body was furious, especially when you see Tony Stark point, even more so. At this time point, Nick Fury spoke. Tony, please get back on the plane first. I'm afraid you will die in front of me before you become a superhero. Tony. Hiss. Is this Iron Man? This is Iron Man. Got no. Iron Man can actually create such terrifying armor. Wait. Oh my god. He knocked Hulk's teeth out. It's over. It's over. That look in Hulk's eyes is just killing people. I've already knelt down to look at it. Iron Man is in danger. The other side. The video continues when Iron Man knocked out a few of Hulk's teeth point. Hulk roared furiously point, then he mobilized the endless power in his body to fight Iron Man's huge armor again point. But Iron Man shows his inhumanity point, bought a building at the speed of light point, then the Hulk will fall from the sky. Boom. Boom boom. Earth-shattering explosions resounded through the sky, and countless pieces of smoke and rubble surged out like a tsunami, one wave after another sweeping towards the distant place overwhelmingly. It's different from what everyone imagined point. When Hulk breaks free from the rubble point, he did not attack Iron Man again point. Instead, this time there was a violent impact point. It made his mind clearer, seeing countless people fleeing in the distance and hearing the cries of countless people, including children. His heart felt cramped, and he even blamed himself point. Hulk stood up slowly point. When he saw the frightened expressions of countless people point, he felt extremely guilty in his heart. Guilt, self-blame, and powerful power give Hulk more than just the opportunity to save people, and the destruction he caused. In the end, I can only leave alone. At This time point the background music becomes increasingly sad point. Lin Lan's voice seemed to be mixed with a little helplessness point. Yes, Hulk's power is absolutely terrifying point, but the damage and destruction he caused were also directly proportional point, even if it wasn't what he wanted to do point. But who can understand him? The scene changes, the sun sets, the golden sunshine fills the earth point. Above the sky point a lonely figure caught people's eyes. I saw Hulk slowly walking into the Quinjet point, then he soared aimlessly in the sky, broke away from the earth, and headed for the far distance. Loneliness, self-blame, guilt point. See the scene point. The excitement that everyone had felt just now was gone point. All I feel is sadness and sympathy point. Only now do they know what the author just meant by being confused. Hulk must feel very guilty when he sees the damage he has caused. Yes, having strong power is good for being able to protect people, but in front of innocent people, you are just a devil. No one will understand you. Seeing people's horrified looks, Hulk must have fallen into self-doubt. Maybe this is what the author meant by that sentence, but I believe he will cheer up. Don't forget, he was beaten violently just now. There's Thor. There was a lot of chatter among people watching the video point. They are only now beginning to understand point behind Hulk's bravery and fearlessness. There is so much sadness, but most people believe it point. Hulk can get back on his feet, and Thor, who is regarded as a typical example, thinks so too. Although he was whipped to death in public, he already regarded Hulk as a respectable opponent in his heart point. He also believes Hulk can definitely snap out of it. Big man, if you stay depressed like this, I will look down on you, Thor murmured point. And the video continues, asking for flower tickets. 21. Asgard was destroyed. What happened? Loneliness, sadness, Quinjet in space point, floating aimlessly like space junk point, accompanied by soft melancholy music point. The hearts of countless people also became depressed point. Yet the surprising thing is this time point Hulk did not transform back into Banner, but appeared in front of everyone in the posture of a big green man. What's going on? I remember that the big guy would turn into Banner after every battle. Do you remember what the author said? That there are two souls in his body. Maybe Hulk is the other soul, and he is dominating this body now. It seems to make sense. It seems that the bits and pieces accumulated before have finally exploded at this moment. In the universe, someone put forward a point of view to the point only then did everyone react. Chapter 21. Next video point, it is very likely to show the interaction between the two souls of Hulk and Banner. Video continues, Quinjet flying in the sky point. As a result, the screen changed point. The plane has become another plane point, and the background has also undergone huge mutations. Everyone can see it clearly point at this time. The Hulk in the plane had changed back into Banner. What happened in between point? They don't care point. They were just very happy that Hulk finally got over his previous self-blame and became Banner again. It seems that Hulk is not as depressed as the author said. That's right, the author is talking nonsense. Hulk and Banner can still switch back. If Lin Lan were here, there will definitely be a slight snort of disdain point. The fun is yet to come. The video continues. I saw the spacecraft coming to a place point. Everyone in Asgard who was watching the video quickly recognized where this place was. It's Asgard. Wait. Thor and Hulk appeared in Asgard. Does that mean Hulk is not our enemy? It seems like this, but wait, what is that? Just then everyone breathed a sigh of relief point. Fortunately Hulk is not the enemy of Asgard point, someone exclaimed. I saw it on the Rainbow Bridge point, a giant wolf roared, pressing on the Asgardian crowd step by step. See the scene point. Countless people from Asgard in the 9 realms who were watching the video gasped. They were shocked point. Why would such a terrifying monster invade Asgard? However, Odin on the throne is different. I saw his one eye expanding rapidly. He held the Odin scepter tightly in his hand because he recognized that the giant wolf was Hela's mount. That's right point. Thor, the god of thunder, also has a sister named Hela. How can it be? Odin made a sound of confusion point. I had a bad feeling in my heart point. Only seen in the video point. After the giant wolf roared wildly, it ran towards the people of Asgard crazily, opening its bloody mouth as if it wanted to swallow them all point. The result was at this moment, a huge green giant suddenly appeared point. Fight bravely with the giant wolf point. The power shown can only be described as amazing. The background music is also extremely exciting point. See this scene point. The People watching raised their arms and shouted excitedly, "Well done, Hulk. Awesome. Hulk is a savior. Is this the power of the Hulk? From now on, he is my hero." Just when everyone thought this was shocking enough, sudden boom. Earth-shattering explosions resounded through the sky like a volcanic eruption. Countless flames shot into the sky from the central building. A towering body of flames appeared in the picture. Just standing there was extremely oppressive, and the damage caused was even more terrifying. No way. How could it be him? It's over. Why was Asgard destroyed? What happened? Odin, please save us. Everyone, including Odin, couldn't sit still. They were still very impressed by this giant. That's the fire giant Surtur, an extremely terrifying existence. In the screen. The whole of Asgard seemed to have turned into hell. Everywhere is filled with fire. One after another. The buildings they were all too familiar with disintegrated into countless fragments in an instant. The thick smoke billowed like a tsunami, sweeping in all directions and covering the sky. The faces of the people watching all had dull expressions they couldn't imagine at Asgard, known as the god's domain. How could one day be destroyed like this? My heart was beating like a giant hammer. They want to know who did it and why Odin didn't stop it. Boom. Video continues when everyone is sad and dull. I saw the Hulk concentrating his power on his feet and then releasing it in one breath. The rainbow bridge under his feet was shaking and even seemed to have cracks. Then he jumped into the sky like a cannonball, using all the endless power in his body condensed on his fists. Under the eyes of everyone in disbelief, he headed towards Surtur, who was at the level of a heavenly father. Bang! A dull crashing sound resounded. In the shocked eyes of everyone. The Hulk's fist suddenly hit Surtur's head, knocking the fire giant's head back. Even his 100-meter high body took a step back. Everyone saw this scene. Just want to say something. Has he always been so brave? Holy shit, Hulk, you are my hero. Oh my god, has he always been so brave? That's a giant at the level of Heavenly Father. I suddenly fell in love with this reckless guy. Oh my god, this author actually said he was in a slump. What the hell? The crowd cheered. In the video. If not for Thor's voice. I guess Hulk won't even leave. Until now. Everyone is increasingly questioning the author's words. What they saw was a picture of Hulk getting out of self-blame and becoming more and more brave, except for feeling a little confused and lost when I blame myself. Where is the follow-up? This author is very bad and knows how to lie, but at this moment. The exciting background music disappeared. Instead. It's very soft background music. Similar to the music at the beginning and the picture. It also became that spaceship. Calm, peaceful. Everyone who watched the video gradually calmed down. They know. The video is coming to an end. Like Spider-Man, it echoes from beginning to end. They already know this author's editing style. However, at this moment, they suddenly thought. At the beginning of the video, this spaceship explodes. Countless people's pupils dilated rapidly, with expressions of shock and disbelief on their faces, because the video footage cuts inside. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22. In that spaceship, rivers of blood, countless people of Asgard were lying on the ground in various shapes. It was as if they could smell the strong smell of blood in the air. They were crazy to know. What happened? Asking for flower tickets. 22. Hulk was beaten by Thanos. The count is over. 9 realms Asgard. But at this moment. Countless people's pupils were shaken. My heart is beating wildly. Not only did they see countless Asgardian people die. Even Thor, the god of thunder, was bound and unable to move. He looked aggrieved, angry, and unwilling. Even the mouth is closed. Although they don't see how others do. But they can already imagine at. Asgard lost everything overnight. It can be called the twilight of the gods. Oh my god, Odin, are we, Asgard, really dead? What happened? Why couldn't Thor resist? Why did we die there? And what does this scene have to do with Hulk? Heavy and hopeless. It's not just the hearts of those in Asgard, who are watching point people in other universes also felt oppressed point because they know that if even the gods of Asgard cannot resist destruction point, well, aren't they even more so? The background music continues. The melodious violin sound became even sadder at this moment point. The camera slowly zooms in point from the face of Thor, god of thunder. He quickly moved to another place point. Suddenly everyone in the universe who was watching the video held their breath point until the screen appears when a muscular, king-like purple figure wearing armor came into view. Everyone's faces were filled with shock and disbelief. It turns out it's him. I know him. He's a guy from Titan. My planet was destroyed by him. It turned out to be him. I'm going to kill him. In the universe point there is no shortage of people who know Thanos. They knew this guy had a plan going on point, trying to wipe out half of all life in the universe point, destruction and destruction everywhere point, so that everyone saw this scene point furious. But at this moment, a roar came from the video point, attracting countless people point. The scene changes. I saw a huge green guy running out and beating Thanos together in the flash of lightning. Bang 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 bang. The dull sound of impact continued to resound, and Hulk's fists continued to bombard Thanos' body. With each punch, a strong shock wave washed away, and Thanos' body also continued to explode. It went backwards and even hit the wall of the spacecraft, setting off countless iron fragments, which was really exciting. Hulk, my hero, appears again. Oh my god, Hulk, you stand up again. Odin, please treat Hulk as our closest partner. This is really touching. Hulk can definitely rescue us. He can. Everyone showed excitement and touching expressions. Everyone thinks Hulk can defeat Thanos after all. This guy even dares to do something to a fire giant at the level of Heavenly Father. Are you still afraid that he is a Titan? The result was something that no one expected point. Soon on the screen point, Thanos finally fought back point. One punch, Hulk backs off. 2 punches, the sound of broken bones sounded. 3 punches, Hulk fell directly to the ground and passed out. Silence point, shocking point. Countless people looked at this scene in stunned silence point, totally in disbelief point. The Hulk, who was like the god of war in their hearts, was defeated by Thanos in just a few punches. Gudang point. Countless people swallowed hard point. Now they know why the author said Hulk was depressed and lost point. He was beaten until he was unconscious. When did Hulk experience this? Really point, just as everyone thought point. Video continues. Hulk lies on the ground point. The scene changes. It turned into Banner lying on the ground point, and there was a big tree pressing on his back. Hulk, come out quickly. Under countless sad and lonely eyes, Banner kept slapping his cheeks, trying to transform into the Hulk point. However, his face turned green briefly, and a voice resounded. No, it's Hulk's voice. Really? Everyone understood point. After Hulk experienced the last incident point, he is unwilling to transform point. This is why the author said that Hulk is depressed and lost point. But will Hulk really never show up again? Everyone's eyes were firm. They believed that Hulk would definitely appear again. Just when they wonder what happens next point, much to their anger, the voice of the dog author rang out. The Hulk possesses terrifying power. His roar will make the world tremble, and his punch will make the gods cry. He is brave and fearless. He is the god of war in people's hearts. He often turns the tide at critical moments. This video honors our invincible heroes. Superhero. Number 9. Hulk. Inventory completed. When Lin Lan's voice fell point, the melodious background music also sounded point. The scene changes. The huge, muscular body of the Hulk appeared point, give everyone a shocking visual impact point, as if it would come out. This video really made me admire Hulk. If it were before, I would have just thought this was a monster that could only destroy. But now I know he is a superhero. That's right. Although his destructive power is astonishing, he is the key to turning the tide in the face of disaster. Even though he blames himself and is confused, I believe that the two souls of Banner and Hulk will work well together. After watching the entire video, Chapter 23, everyone's perception of Hulk has completely changed point. They saw Hulk's past pain and self-blame, and understood that he was not a monster who could only destroy, but an extremely powerful superhero point. In the face of foreign invasion, he struck hard point. He is brave and fearless in the face of unknown enemies. How could they not love such a powerful man? But the most frustrating thing is what happened to the two souls of Hulk and Banner in the end point. First, Hulk took the quinjet and left alone, and Banner had no control. Finally, Banner wanted to fight, but Hulk didn't want to come out. This is a scene that people never want to see, and then just when people thought the video ended here. Lin Lan's voice never stopped. One person plays two roles. There have been moments of brilliance and moments of confusion. It's just a pity that after that battle, Hulk was in a slump and was resisting the fight, and Banner lost the power of Hulk. Can he protect the people he cherishes again? Everyone was stunned. The knife in his hand was picked up again. This dog author knows how to keep people appetizing. If you're caught, you'll be locked up in a dark room and given a grain of rice for a video. But no matter how much they want to complain about this author, but the body is honest. Stare at the screen. The answer is, of course, yes. When Lin Lan's voice sounded again. The picture continues in a cozy coffee shop. There are many people coming and going. I saw two children pulling their mother. Their eyes seemed to be asking something. Then I saw them running forward with their mobile phones. The camera moves along the child's back. When the child's footsteps stopped. Countless people exclaimed. I saw a big man sitting on the seat enjoying coffee. But here's the surprise. The big green guy put on glasses and a lavender sweater. Can we take a picture with you? The child asked. There seemed to be stars in his eyes. To everyone's surprise, Hulk replied gently, sure. Click. As the phone makes a sound. A group photo appeared on the screen. The ending song also played. The Hulk chapter is officially over. Countless people gasped, and their eyes were red. They seemed to understand that Hulk merged with Banner in the end and became a superhero in the true sense, but what they want to know more is what reward will Hulk receive. Asking for flower tickets. 23. Hulk's heaven-defying reward, combining the power of the Hulk with Banner's kindness and genius brain. Maybe this is a superhero. Yes, Hulk's journey has not been easy. At first, because others were afraid of him, he got on a plane to escape from the Earth. Now I see that children dare to take photos with him. It has proven that on Earth, Hulk is a superhero now. I won't say any more. Hulk will be my hero from now on. Yes, when the Hulk transforms, he has invincible strength and is the strongest, but it is also the moment when his reason disappears. He becomes destructive, and his body is filled with anger and blind attacks. When he recovers himself, kindness comes online, but it is also when the superhero power disappears. This is a very contradictory point for him. Strength and kindness and reason are incompatible. But Banner and Hulk never gave up. Didn't become a villain. Instead, he took it one step at a time, and finally reached an agreement with Hulk, and achieved the best posture. Not only does he have the power of Hulk, but he also has Banner's kindness and genius brain. See this scene. Countless people in the universe also felt relieved. Even Banner himself. His eyes twinkled. The excitement is evident on his face. I didn't expect that in the end I would reach an agreement with Hulk. Isn't this incredible? Banner whispered with trembling lips. He felt that the author understood him very well, although every time the Hulk causes massive destruction. But without his kindness and reason. Hulk doesn't become a hero. But what excited him the most was in the end, he not only mastered power, but also mastered kindness and reason, and became a real superhero. This is what he expected. Not to be feared, despised, or hated by others. You can also protect the people you cherish. The thought of this, he recalled how Hulk transformed back on the plane. He wanted to know though. But obviously. The author did not elaborate. Of course, he believed that this might be mentioned in subsequent videos, but what he cared about most was the purple giant who beat him and Hulk until they were unconscious. Who was he? It's not just him. Nick Fury and others standing beside him also frowned. They want to know. Who is this purple giant? From now on, Banner, you are a member of our Avengers. Come with us. Nick Fury thinks the Avengers plan. You have to do it in advance. He must prevent the war that will occur in the future, and he saw it. Iron Man stops the Hulk from going on a rampage. That is to say. This crooked guy is likely to play an important role in the future. Tony, starting from today, you no longer have to be a consultant. You are now an official member of the Avengers. Here, the words of Nick Fury. Tony Stark was anything but excited. Instead, he put on airs. Repeated again. Maybe you should consider it. I will be the captain of this superhero. You see, the Hulk was beaten by me. Iron Man, will definitely be on the list, and it will be very high. Here. This Banner looked at the little spider beside him. Asked in a low voice, has this guy always been so confident? No, he settled it. Banner. Nick. Fury was speechless. Just when I wanted to answer, the mechanical sound of the dimensional platform sounds. Holy area. Asgard. At this time, there was silence in the hall. The faces of countless people showed solemnity. Chapter 24. Since seeing Asgard's demise. They no longer want to watch the video. Father, let me lead people to kill that purple sweet potato spirit. At this time. Thor held Mjolnir tightly, veins popping out. Obviously very angry, although he doesn't know how Asgard perished. But he saw his subjects dying in front of him on the spaceship, with rivers of blood flowing. How could he bear this? Yeah, let's kill that purple sweet potato spirit together. I'm willing to volunteer and go out to kill the enemy. We Asgardian warriors will never be afraid. In the main hall. Countless people raised their weapons and raised their arms and shouted. Morale rose instantly. But what no one expected was Odin slowly opened his one eye. He said calmly but with dignity, our responsibility is to protect the 9 realms, not to start a war. Actually, a long time ago. Odin already expected that he would die. And I understand. Ragnarok is an absolute point in time on the timeline. In other words, change the antecedents anyway. The result will be the destruction of Asgard. What's more, he is the king of the divine realm. The leadership should maintain the peace of the 9 realms instead of actively provoking a war. This is why he sealed his eldest daughter Hela. Father, my subjects died in front of me. As a king, can I just watch this happen? That's enough. You're not the king yet. Odin slammed the scepter in his hand onto the ground. The burst of pressure set off a terrifying shockwave, heading towards Thor like a tsunami, sending him flying more than 10 meters away, before landing heavily on the ground. See this scene. No one in the main hall dared to speak. But in their hearts they already hated the purple giant to the extreme, waiting to be able to kill it one day. And Thor was also very unhappy and filled with rage. He prays. Now. I can be on the list, surpass my father, become the real king, and then kill that purple sweet potato spirit. At this time. People in the universe heard the mechanical sound of the dimensional platform. Hulk, please accept your award and choose 2 of the 3 options below. To do this, you need to reward the author with an item. At this time, in the video. Countless people saw Banner's face. Then rewards appeared on it too. Option 1. Paper Man can withstand a fatal injury and can be given to others. Option 2. Chicken Talisman enables the holder to levitate in the air and control objects to float and move using telekinesis. Option 3. Physical Technique 6 naval styles, 6 moves of Shaver, Iron Block, Paper Drawing, Moonstep, Lankao, and Finger Spear. A physical technique that exceeds one's own limits and is extremely powerful. See the reward. Not just the Hulk himself. Everyone in the universe cannot sit still. At this time, a purple figure slowly opened the dimensional platform. 24. Hulk's choice triggers a hidden video. Hiss. At this moment. When the mechanical sound of the dimensional platform sounded. Countless people in the universe have seen the 3 options above. They all took a breath of cold air. His face was full of shock and disbelief. First. Option 1. Paper Man. It was actually able to withstand a fatal injury. This means that the Hulk can have 2 lives. For how many people is it a dream? After all, 1 more life means you can walk sideways, but that wasn't what shocked them the most. The most shocking thing is that this paper man can actually give it away. Oh my god. Countless people were jealous. If this paper man can only be used by Hulk. Maybe it would just be a sigh of relief for them, and it would be over. But it's different. If you can give it away, the essence has completely changed. After all, who doesn't want an extra life? Oh my god. Dad Hulk, I'll give you 200 million galaxy coins. Sell this to me. Can this actually be given away? I think it is necessary to get to know Hulk. I have no other ideas. After all, who made me his long lost biological son? You guys are so spineless. Aren't you just a piece of paper? Hey, Hulk, I'm your loyal fan. Look at me here. Look at me here. I'll give you 500 million galactic coins. Everyone, At #% everyone in the universe is excited because of Paperman. On the other hand, look at the Hulk. Not to shocked. Joke. People who dare to drink bullets and kill themselves on the glacier still don't care about having one more life. In fact, Banner had already realized this. I originally wanted to skip the Paperman option and choose options 2 and 3. I don't know why my heart is throbbing. I always feel that it would be a pity not to choose 1. So he chose option 1 in his mind. Now it's time to choose between options 2 and 3. Let's talk about option 2 first. Although I have never heard of what a chicken charm is, but he couldn't help but be shocked when he saw the function. Not only is it able to levitate itself, but it is also able to manipulate objects. This seems to be a good choice for him who can only use pure strength. After all, he recalled the scene in the video where his power was crushed by the purple giant. If you can use the chicken charm, wouldn't it be easy to knock him down? Banner's eyes continued to look downward. It is a physical skill that can greatly improve his combat ability. To be honest, he was moved again. I even wonder if I can be greedy and want all 3. But it's obviously not possible. Banner, I see you are struggling. If you want me to tell you, you might as well give them all to me. Maybe I will build that huge mecha and give it to you. At this time, Tony on the side spoke. It would be a lie to say that I'm not moved. You must know that he does not have the extraordinary physical fitness of Captain America, Hulk or Spider-Man. He is just a genius who uses technology. Therefore, he felt that any of the above 3 rewards would bring about a qualitative change in him. And Banner heard Tony's words. The Hulk inside is rioting. Chapter 25. The image of the giant mecha beating him violently flashed through his mind. So the decision was made without hesitation. I choose option 1 and option 2. That's right. He finally chose 2, the chicken charm, between 2 and 3, although it feels a bit like taking personal revenge. But Banner thinks so too. No matter how you look at it, you will suffer a loss if you fight against a guy who can fly. But it's different. After having the chicken charm. There is no need to worry at all when fighting Iron Man's huge mecha again. Hey. Banner scratched his head. It seems that he has already thought of the scene of beating up Iron Man. My heart felt secretly happy. Congratulations to Hulk for receiving the reward, which is being distributed when the Hulk makes his choice. The voice of the dimensional platform also sounded. Everyone who was watching the video saw at this time a beam of light shot into the sky, and a paper-like villain and a stone-like chicken charm appeared in front of Banner at the same time. Gudang. Countless people swallowed their saliva with envy and desire. Although there are many good people in the universe. But once they have what they desire, they can become villains in a matter of seconds. That's right. Many space bandits have begun to move. They scrambled to get what Hulk had. After all, that kind of thing is really outrageous. But at this moment, an extremely cold mechanical sound continued to come from the dimensional platform. Reminder, any reward obtained by snatching the dimensional platform without one's will be immediately wiped out. Countless people heard this sentence. They all froze in place. I just feel my back is cold and my scalp is numb. They didn't expect that the dimensional platform would have such a rule. If it was before. Even if God gives this order, someone will do it. But they saw the dimensional platform's unnatural actions, and no one dared to disobey. I can only be glad I didn't do this. So they swallowed their unwillingness into their stomachs. Continue watching the video. I saw Banner. After getting the props, he put away the Paperman in his hand. Then he held the chicken talisman tightly and used his mind to look at Tony aside. What are you going to do? Banner smiled and said nothing. I saw the chicken talisman in his hand blooming with dazzling light. Then a ball of energy enveloped Tony and then continued to float and rotate in the air under Banner's control. Even Banner himself is floating. It's enough to prove the power of this chicken charm, although they cannot see the effect of another reward. But this scene was enough to make them even more restless and jealous. Can't wait to find out. Who is the 8th hero, but they also know it. This dog author will not be able to update until the same time tomorrow. They feel like there are countless ants crawling in their hearts, itching, and they even want to watch this video dozens of times again. After all, the video made by this author is so attractive to them. Ding. Congratulations to Hulk for choosing to start the hidden video. At this time point the dimensional platform sounded again. Countless people were overjoyed. It's like the joy of finishing your favorite snack and discovering there's still a bite left. Can't wait to know what hidden video did Hulk trigger. 25. Green Widow's love. The universe is blessing you. One after another soft music plays. The originally completely black scene continued again. People all over the universe are curious, what hidden video did Hulk punish? After all, after Spider-Man made a choice before, he changed the timelines of the other two Spider-Man. So what is Hulk's hidden video? Guess. What reward was chosen to trigger this hidden video? Needless to say, it must be the Paper Man, and the video triggered is likely to be related to life and death, although everyone is speculating. Banner himself was speculating. But until the video comes out, no one knows what the hidden video is. Video continues, only seen in the screen. It's the same quingered. It's just what catches people's eyes. It's the Hulk. This is also the scene where Hulk leaves in a quingered. Only those who are watching the video know at this time. This hidden video should tell the story of how Hulk transformed back into Banner. This bad author is so bad, he doesn't edit it in the main film and has to hide it. Just now I was wondering why there was no explanation. It turns out that you need to choose a reward to trigger viewing, but isn't this just a surprise? I also want to know what happened to Hulk that made him turn back to Banner. Yes, if we can make Hulk stop blaming himself and let Banner regain control, maybe what we encounter will surprise us. People who are watching the video are criticizing the author, but a strong sense of expectation was aroused in my heart. Want to know what exactly happened. Able to transform back into Banner. It's not just them. Banner himself also expressed that he really wanted to know. Because every time he transformed into the Hulk, the violent power seemed to fill every corner of his body. However, it is never easy to change back. What's more, Hulk also experienced being hated, spurned, and feared by others. Anyway, he also wants to know the answer. Maybe it can help his relationship with Hulk. Hey, big guy, we made it. Mission accomplished. I need you to fly this plane back. Okay. At this time in the video, a voice like a royal sister sounded. I saw Hulk slowly walking forward from the rear of the plane. The camera also zoomed in. Everyone saw that a picture of a woman appeared on the top of the electronic screen. She is enchanting and beautiful. The kind that makes it difficult for men not to be moved by her. The plane is in stealth mode and we can't track it, so do me a favor. I need you. Just when people thought Hulk would hesitate. Unexpectedly, Hulk hung up before the woman at the top of the screen finished speaking. At this time the background music becomes extremely sad. The scene from the previous video reappeared. Hulk curled up and sat aimlessly on the plane, letting it fly into the distance. Hey, I suddenly seem to realize something. Do you think the Hulk is in love? I think it's very possible. I see that woman's face looks very sad and helpless. Do you think Hulk can become Banner because of this woman? End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.